Swole Normuth.
The sun is shining. The
Let's do it,
birds are
fam.
chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, test Ickles. Welcome everyone to episode 1172 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. But without further ado, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see this bearded guy. You're not here for Papa Swolio. You're not here for me. You're not here for me. I know I'm beautiful. I know my hair is gorgeous. I brushed it today just for you. And I actually took care of the beard a little bit. But let's bring on our special guest. I wonder who it is. Why don't you introduce yourself for anyone that doesn't know who you are? Enjoy, everyone. You look awesome. I love it. So actually, I have something, and I showed you already, but Mark, it's heavy. So I brought my hammer because I had a feeling that she would be Marvel related. So I'll just kind of keep this on my shoulder just in case shit gets out of hand, just in case any fucking snowflakes show up, I can just smash. Yeah, okay, that's really heavy. So anyway, for those that don't know you, why don't you just kind of give my people, oh my goodness, that's my fault. They can't hear you. Now they can hear you. My fault. Sorry. That's my fault. My goodness. Sorry. So what we're talking about, just to catch everyone up, because I screwed up because I hit a button. We were talking about smashing snowflakes with Thor hammers, and she's obviously looking gorgeous as She-Hulk. So for anyone that doesn't know her, why don't you introduce yourself and give them a little bit of a background on you, and we'll just jump into it.
Hi guys, my name is McDaniel. I am a personal trainer and a cosplayer. Past binge eater. I feel like I was obese. I'm not too sure. I was 180. I'm 5'2", so that's pretty thick for a hobbit. But I just talk about really anything. My channels, my thoughts will probably offend you, so it's really anything I think of. We obviously focus a lot on weight loss because that is my life. But we do talk about other things like anime, cartoons, popular things that are going on. Anything that goes on in this brain, which is psychotic.
I understand. I feel you. I feel on that one because my brain is all over the place too. So we both kind of have a different style, a similar style, although you go hard. I get cosplayed by default. People say, "Oh, you look like Thor," so I don't have a choice. So apparently, I didn't dress up because I'm.
Yeah, you don't have to put a wig on or anything.
I'm kind of like, I'm kind of always in cosplay. So, yeah, but we both have this kind of different approach. I mean, people have been telling me this, and people keep on, sending messages like, you have to have Michelle on. You guys got to get together. And of course, we've been having, conversations back and forth. But I'm sure you've been kind of seeing my videos pop up and like suggested. I've been seeing your videos, so I've been tuning in a lot more because I don't consume a lot of people's content, but I love your videos. What about? Because obviously you're a very creative person. Obviously, I don't know what gave it away. But
I'm not sure how you found that out.
So how did you kind of get into addressing all these social issues? Like, how did that evolve? Because we were just talking before the podcast, my videos were garbage and I didn't really find my voice, and it kind of came with practice. But how'd you kind of develop this whole like thing you got going on? And congratulations on 100K, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I've always been very vocal. That's why I would get in trouble when I was younger, because I'm just very vocal about everything. And I like to express my opinion. I was very into like speech and debate, so I love that kind of stuff. And then I was very much into theater as well. So now I just kind of like mashed the two together. But my channel started out as relationship things because I was a single woman and I was muscular at the same time. So I would just kind of talk about my experiences with that. And then people started noticing that I was very muscular because I was competing. And I would just start talking about, weight loss. And eventually the fat acceptance movement started. And I was like, I'll talk about that because it's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of when it started really picking up for my channel.
What do you think about, because, and again, we touched upon this briefly, but there is this kind of like a layer over the entire world, and it's the social media layer. So we have actual real world where the real hobbits live. We have Middle Earth, and I'm not a hobbit, but I mean, you know, but yeah, I get you.
I was like, are you sure too? Are we hobbits together?
No, well, Mama Swolio's a hobbit too. We got his like little like hairy feet walking. No, I'm kidding. Like, I'm sorry, babe. But we have this little like veil over the entire world. We have this kind of like layer, society on top of society. And what I find interesting is we have this actual boundaries, cultures. It's different. If you go to another country, it's going to be completely different. But then when you go online, it's just chaos because everyone is just in this massive, I don't know what it is. It's like everyone's in like the Colosseum in Rome, just fighting. It's like everyone's just in like a mess in the middle. What are your thoughts about that? Because I don't see a lot of fat acceptance, but of course the internet, people don't really separate their social media from their real life internally. Outside, they don't see it. So there's like this disconnect where you're walking down the street, you're not getting likes, followers, you're not getting feedback. So the concepts and the things, the social issues we're talking about are kind of existent, but they're not existent.
Yeah,
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
About in regular situations. I've never had anyone say to me the things that Tess Holiday says out in the open on her Instagram. Maybe because I work with people that want to lose weight, so maybe not. But like, even when I go out in normal, you know, when I'm like this and I attract a lot of people, I've never heard anyone say anything about, you know, fat acceptance or anything like that. So there's definitely like I call like my online world literally just an online world. It's a whole different world than my real life, technically, because in real life, I mean, I do this kind of stuff, but I mean, I'm a normal person. There's no way I'm going to just start this conversation with some random people that I never met, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you obviously started as do you still do personal training, or are you kind of like?
I mean, I recently moved. I've moved everything online, which is nicer for me, especially with my, because I have endometriosis, so it's a little harder to like occasionally like get to places and whatnot, because I do get sick sometimes. So
can you explain that for someone that doesn't like? Do you mind?
For all the boys in here, endometriosis is when you have very
explain it to me. Explain it to me, please.
Yeah. So endometriosis is when you have very severe periods, to the point where like I blacked out before from the pain. I throw up sometimes. It's like I can't eat for like 3 days, otherwise I'm gonna throw up. It's basically I don't want to get like too deep into it, but it's just very painful. Period. But
you've talked about this on your channel. Like, have you? You've had this, right? Because I've seen some stuff like in the titles and discussions. And to be honest, I didn't really know much about it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I have a large female audience myself, and I have a lot of people. And I think you've seen some of my content little clips where I'll get asked a question that's not only very medical, but it's specific to women. I'm like, you know what? This is what I've heard. This is what it might be. I don't have a vagina. Like how the fuck am I going to know? I mean, of course, some male doctors would, might know that, but it's flattering. Like, how do you feel when someone asks you? Because I'm sure you get really like high level questions when you're like, I usually
say you might want to ask a doctor for that one.
Just maybe. Yeah. Like
I don't think I'm going to ask a trainer for that.
But it's interesting because personal trainers are both highly respected, and also it's kind of like bartending. I've always looked at personal training and bartending the same. Like, you're a bartender, oh cool, but it's also, oh, you're just a bartender. Mm-hmm. And then you have, you're a personal trainer. Like, wow, can I ask you about my pregnancy? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, you're just a trainer at a gym. Yeah. So it's like, what are your thoughts on that? Because you have this huge, not to mention anyone could be a trainer. So it's
true.
It's kind of like how you carry yourself.
Is she like a trainer?
Oh yeah, she is. maybe next week. Maybe she will be next week. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because it's crazy.
I mean, it's funny because I do run into situations. At least when I was younger. Now I'm a lot more better to voice my opinion and voice, in a smart way. Before I didn't really know how, but I would get people asking my opinion on something, with weight loss when I was a lot younger, and I would give them, something that they probably didn't want to hear, as in you need to reduce your calories, and they were like, well, you don't really know anything, you're just a trainer, I'll just go see a nutritionist. And I'm like, why did you ask me? So
I don't, because I keep getting a lot of, and I see a lot of people in the comments, someone just said that they're now attracted to green women. Captain Kirk loved green women, so yeah. Here, wait, you gotta do that again. I can catch the flex because you're there. You go. Look at the guns. But you're not you're not competing anymore, are you?
No, I won't compete.
How come you? What did you compete in? What division?
I did, well, but first I did bikini and I got last place. And then because I'm just naturally just muscular and I do like to lift. I don't like the fact that I have to reduce my waist to do bikini. And I did figure, so I got a lot of first places in overalls and I was 1 point away from getting my pro card when I was around like 22 or 23 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But with the competing, like I said, I didn't feel healthy and I could tell that from my period got really, really, really bad. And so I kind of just was like, I can't do that anymore. Recently, last year, I got asked to be sponsored to do a show in Arizona, and they said they wanted me to do bikini, and I'm like, are you sure? Because I don't do well in bikini.
Come out like the Hulk. Come out green.
I know, right? So it's like, I mean, I just, no offense to anybody that, I mean, I didn't do well, by the way. I did very bad, but because I was too muscular, but no offense to anyone that competes. I find it like, I feel I'm very cheesy, as in like if I'm on stage, I feel it's just so cheesy for someone to tell me about my body.
Yeah, it's very interesting with bodybuilding how that still has a lot of, I don't know, I feel like now in the culture today, it still has so much credibility and people still do it, but it's literally, I mean, how many other things are literally completely 100,000% subjective now? Mm-hmm. Like it's just subjective. Like, I think that person looks better. And people get robbed all the time. Mm-hmm. Like really bad at top shows. Yeah. And I don't know. It seems like you're literally just, it's like beauty pageants. It's like anything else.
It didn't give me any substance. And it was great to win. But I mean, it didn't last. All my trophies, I got tons of trophies. I think they're still at my parents' house. I haven't.
Do you think it gave you more confidence or less confidence from competing?
I think it definitely made me feel powerful in the gym to see how much I could push myself. It made my binge eating disorder worse after shows. And that was a whole different mental thing I had to get through to be normal. Because it's either, balls to the wall, I'm eating like shit, or I'm going to be completely clean and keep myself in my room away from people so I don't eat any type of, bad thing that's not on my food list. So even recently, I'm still learning how to be normal and eat generally mostly healthy and occasionally go out, with drinks with my friends or out to eat or whatnot.
Yeah, there's a lot of that being discussed lately about like all the eating disorders and the extremes. Yeah. And actually, because I'm not sure if you've touched upon this. Have you touched upon like the binge eating, the 10,000 calorie challenges? I made a video. I know Alan made. We can talk about what's her name?
Madeline.
No, Butter Girl.
Oh, Stephanie.
I always call her Butter Girl, or I know it's like that's such a compliment, but if you have butter in your last name, then you're a friend. I'm like, I love butter. Yeah. What are your thoughts on, because that's, I mean, it's such a literal yin and yang with like health, and then obviously the outcome is not necessarily health. Health and fitness is not about health and fitness, and it hasn't been for a while.
So you're talking about like the 10,000 calorie.
Anything, just what it actually represents. Yeah, like the 10, because people are doing that, and obviously they're in shape, they're lean. Because if you did it, you wouldn't lose your physique in a day.
No.
You would look probably.
And, I mean, I really liked what Alan was saying. I watched one of his videos, or the thing on, I think Stephanie Butter something, and he said, well, 10,000 calories is really just a day, like a Thanksgiving day, and that's completely true. Like I mean, I could easily, like 10,000 calories is not a lot if you're eating crappy food. In a lot of my videos, I told my subscribers that I ate a whole cheesecake, and it was nothing to me. Like that's way more than 10,000 calories.
Yeah.
Like that, and I ate a cheesecake plus Thanksgiving dinner and whatever else my hands could get on. It's nothing. It's not something that I like to do because of my past, because I find it very fun. So it would just make me want to keep doing it. So I try not to binge. I think it just depends on the person. Like if someone like me, if I start doing 10,000 calorie challenges, that's not the healthiest thing for me. Someone else who likes a 10,000 calorie challenge just to do it and then they go back to being normal, I mean, is it really going to affect them all that much?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also because when you have the ability, and we both know this because when we upload a YouTube video, except for this is live streaming. So what up, Beaches? Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Wait, tell before we get into that, tell everyone about, because if you saw her video, the last one that was about the bang, that was the King Koopa one, or is that what it was? And then when you recorded that part, that was funny.
I love that part because I discovered your videos when we were moving and we were cleaning out the apartment, and that's when I discovered you. I was like, I need something to just listen to while I clean everything out. And then I just hear I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm like, this is exactly what I would think he would look like. Like, this is awesome. And so now I always sing that song. So I was like, I gotta fit it in if I'm gonna talk about. If I'm gonna talk about
I'm gonna make a ringtone. Everyone says that I have the ability to create these little jingles that people can't get out of their heads. So
I'll download it.
Yeah, so it's coming. So what were we talking about? We talked about the 10,000. We're talking about the binge eating. Because I used to, and if you go back deep in my channel, I used to, it's amazing from someone else, from fitness person to fitness person, the justification you can make to yourself about, okay, this is good enough for me. Like, oh, I can get away with this. I used to eat, I went from having, I used to do the Sour Patch Kids. Oh, I need sugar, Sour Patch Kids before a workout because it's going to go into my muscles and help my pump. And I would eat them during and then after. And then I went from a little bag of Sour Patch Kids to getting a bigger one. And a couple of workout sessions, I would go through one of those longer bags. Mm-hmm. Like that's not good. That's probably 1,000 calories of just, not just sugar, but just chemicals and this kind of stuff. And I was lean, I was working out, but obviously inside, who the fuck knows what was going on in there. But it's amazing what you can justify to yourself. Like, oh, this is good. And then you see other people doing it. But now I remember with social media, we both film YouTube videos and then we edit them and we upload them. So you can post whatever you want. If there's a part you don't like, you cut it out. Of course, you might do another take. And, maybe you have a video where you do it one shot and it's pretty much good to go. And you add a couple overlays and stuff like that. But you show what you want to show.
Yeah.
And that's what's dangerous, because you might be strict and on point. You have a 10,000 calorie day. You go back to normal. Your body, it's like driving on the highway. You hit a pebble. It's not going to do jack shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the issue with that. I think people take it as they must do this all the time, when it's not. It's just like a one-time thing. Like when I post, because I have a thing for hot Cheetos, which I want to see your opinion on, because I see you talking about artificial stuff and everything like that. But that is my thing that I like. I will eat tons. I can eat tons of, if I really could, I could just live off of them. So I'll have them about once or twice a year, just because they really hurt my stomach, but it's worth it. But I put it in my Instagram, and people were like, how do you stay like that and eat like that all the time? Like, I eat it once to twice a year. So I have to clarify with them. I only, it's not an every single day thing. It's a once in a while, literally once in a while thing.
Well, people cycle through posts too. I mean, I repost videos all the time on Instagram because we have new followers. I mean, YouTube's not really the same. People don't really repost on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a little hack that you can start doing, post throwback videos. But on Instagram, you post something from the archives that, because people aren't going to scroll for hours. Yeah. Maybe a couple, stalkers will. But, you're going through and you're reposting something. So you can repost other cheat meals that you've done in the past. And some people, you could take 20 pictures and then you post them. It seems like all at once, oh my God, this guy's eating junk, because that kind of dichotomy attracts a lot of attention. You see someone who's shredded and eating junk, and you're like, what is going on here? I want to be a part. I'll have what she's having. I'll have what he's having. And you have all these fitness, I have to say with a lisp, influencers that are posting this kind of shit all the time. And it makes the job of someone like yourself or myself, not about challenging. It's just part of the environment, but it makes it more challenging to actually provide real information, which is not complicated. And it's hard to get that point across. That it's simple. No one wants to. I don't know. Do people want to hear that it's simple? Do people want a complicated solution?
People always, I feel want complicated solutions. I feel they always go, when I'm working with someone who has never counted calories or never dieted, nothing, and I say, well, let's just keep a food journal and slightly reduce calories. They want to do the juice cleanse, or they want to do the lemonade thing, or they want to be vegan all of a sudden when most of their diet is meat. You know what I mean? They want to do the most extreme thing.
I had someone message me something. I'm sure you get a ton of messages. Check this person out. Check this person out.
Yeah.
I got one from some girl who's pushing a melon cleanse. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what do you think about this bullshit? And it was a 4-day melon cleanse. I'm like, it's not a cleanse. She just ate melon for 4 days. That's not a diet. That's not a weight loss. Can you lose weight? well, you're consuming highly, watermelon's 92% water or something. So you're going to get full. You're also getting in very limited nutrients.
Yeah.
You're getting in a lot of sugar, but I mean, you might eat less calories. I mean, you're going to eat 3,000 calories of watermelon. That's like what, 2 watermelon maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I
mean,
still don't understand the point of going through all of that when all you have to do is just do some slight changes, here and there, and then eventually they're going to turn into bigger changes. Once I figured that out, I did every single diet when I was trying to lose weight and took every single fat burner. And then once something dinged in my head and I was like, Michelle, how about we just slowly change things instead of freaking out and changing everything?
Yeah. What's your experience with so hot Cheetos? You said you have them like once or twice a year. It's like your little thing.
Yeah.
Does it mess you up? I think you said it screws up your stomach, or do you feel
yeah,
like?
I mean, it definitely depends what time of the month I'm eating them.
Yeah.
But but it definitely hurts no matter what time of the month. Just depends the degree of pain.
Right. So when you have someone, let's say, that's coming to you and all right, I'm tired of seeing all this stuff. I want fucking actionable results. I want results. I don't care what it is. If it's simple, how do you bring someone into, let's say, losing weight? I'm not sure what your normal client base is, what your audience is exactly. Do you find you're dealing more with weight loss? Do you find it's more with eating issues or with female issues just because of your experience? What do people come to you generally for?
Because I talk about a lot of mental health and a lot of binge eating disorder. I have a lot of people who are mostly binging. I do have a couple people who need to eat more, but not that much, because I think of just what I talk about, the people that had the same issues as I had with losing weight are going to kind of gear towards me rather than people trying to put on weight. But I do have a couple people who want to be more muscular or at least want to eat more, who don't eat enough.
Yeah,
usually it's just weight loss and people who, if they get mentally frustrated, I used to get very if I get upset, then it's time for me to eat. So those kind of people.
What do you find is a good balance between that for people that are maybe when they get stressed? What do you find is an effective fix for someone who, let's say, okay, when I get stressed out, I eat. So stress eating.
I had to distract myself. So I got into I love being creative. So I got into guitar, got into singing, and I went back into college, the community college. I went back to theater. I started drawing, and then making videos as well. So I kind of just have to distract myself.
Yeah, I think that's to have something to do, having a purpose or having a passion, or maybe changing the trigger. So if you have something, okay, when I'm stressed, I go here. Instead, I go meditate. Instead, I go for a walk. When I feel stressed, I just put it down, go outside and go for a walk.
Yeah.
Because I found, because when I got into training, I think we kind of have a similar pathway. You were lifting, you were big, you're maybe more, you grow muscle, I guess, at a faster rate or more naturally. You're more muscular as a standard. So I got into it just training hard. And how long have you been training for, would you say, since you started really taking it seriously? Not the first time in the gym, but
Yeah. Probably when I was about 19.
So how long has it been? You don't have to say your age. You don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. I know, I'm kidding. So 10 years. So I've been doing this for about, I would say 2000. I usually say about 20 years because I was kind of, transitioning 99, 2000. It's been about 18, 19 years. I just say 20 because in a year it'll be that. And what I started, it was just crush. It was workouts that I couldn't touch my quads for a week. Now, my training has gone more towards mental, towards psychological, towards longevity. I just don't want to be crippled sore as much. I like being sore. I like working hard. Have you gone through a similar transition where you're just not training as hard, or you're training differently? How do you train now as opposed to what's your mindset now as opposed to 21 when you were crushing it?
Well, so it's interesting that you brought that up, because I was just talking to my boyfriend about that, because I used to train so just until, you said, until I was crippled in the gym, I had to be just being that's what would be a good workout, and that's what I would think would give me the best results. As I didn't want to be able to walk out of the gym, and I still I love that feeling of being sore, but I also think I was overworking quite a bit, because I would do at least when I was younger, I was going through all the relationship stuff. So anytime anything would fall out, I would start running 10 miles a day. I would bike 40 miles a day. Plus, then I would go back at the gym and then go lift for about 2 hours. So, my body was just constantly moving, and I think that took a toll. Now I try to work out a lot, for longevity. I just want to be able to move my body. I want to be able to be flexible. I want to have good core stabilization. Like I want to be able to just move and function as I age.
How do you find that that conflicts with what people come to you for? Because people are going to come to you at kind of like where they want to be or where you were at the beginning. Because I'll have a lot of people that come into my community and they want to get huge, or they want all these results. And what I've been thinking a lot about lately is this progressive habit forming, because it seems like with social media, with all the information, with seeing all these experts or people that have, because when they look at your profile or mine, 10 years, 20 years, people that have amazing results have been going at it for years. No one's like big and shredded and has never lifted for a few years at least.
Mm-hmm.
So people are trying to copy and emulate experts at expert level. It's kind of like going on, I guess, Guitar Hero and turning on expert you've never played before.
Yeah.
You're going to maybe hit a button now and again, you know? So like, what are your, like the way I think about it is, but it's hard to push, okay, the basics. And I always talk about the basics. I'm trying to beat that into, so even if they don't want to take the advice, at least for me, I feel better about it. At least I'm coming across and I know I'm providing the value. How do you get through to people that are just, they want to jump in the deep end of the pool, which is great, but obviously they're going to get hurt. They're not going to, they're not going to stick to it. They can't maintain 6 days a week if they've never trained before.
I usually, like, if someone's paying me, like, say I get like a newbie and they just want to go balls to the wall, 6 days a week workout plan for me to make, and I tell them, I'll do that for you, but just keep in mind that you're going to get burned out pretty quickly, most likely. It doesn't mean that you will, but most people get burned out, and I really want you to stick to it. So I'd rather us, like, if you're coming from someone who doesn't work out at all, why don't we just do a 2 to 3 day workout program for the first few months, and then we'll see where you are from there, and then we can always increase. You don't have to start with this 6 day a week program. I always try to like push that you don't have to do that, just so that at least they know. And if they still want this 6 day a week program, it's all on them. I used to actually have a lot of my clients sign like this thing that said that this is exactly what they wanted and this is what Michelle told me would happen. So then they can't come back and say that, it's my fault.
That's what's crazy when I started doing the math. So let's say, I'm not going to do it right now, but let's say someone, I guess the average person that goes to a trainer, let's say 3 days a week for an hour. Mm-hmm. Okay. How many hours in a week? 168. So you take 165 divided by 168, and pretty much like 97, 98% of the time, they're not with you.
Yeah.
Yet when they don't get results, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault. I had a trainer, but I didn't get results. Yo, the workouts were solid for the hours you were with me. Trust me. You didn't eat any Cheetos. You didn't have any fucking cake in the gym. When you left, if you gain weight, that's because you can't keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. What
are your thoughts? What are your thoughts when you hear me tell people to keep their fucking mouth shut? Like stop eating food. It's what everyone wants to say.
It's so true though. People just don't like to hear it. It's so true. I had to do that to myself, but I would get because my addiction was also peanut butter. Like if I would overeat unhealthy food. And so I would just literally I don't know what it was. I would just take a spoon and I could mac on some peanut butter and I could eat the whole thing. And I was like, Michelle, why can't I keep your mouth fucking shut? Like, why don't you keep putting it in your mouth?
That'd be a new thing instead of one of those oxygen masks where you suck through a straw. Just create like a muzzle like Sub-Zero. Just put it.
Yeah.
So I should have it and have like my logo on it. Maybe we'll have one together. We'll have like logos on the side, like sponsored by, brought to you.
Your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, just like a fucking zipper. It's
completely true. I love it. I like you and Alan really go deep on that stuff, and I love it because it's completely true. It's all the stuff I say to myself when I'm having a day where I keep eating junky food when I know it's gonna, one, hurt me, and two, I don't need it.
For sure. I find it flattering that I can rage and say the things that I do and get a positive response. But I think, and it's the same thing with you. Like when I see the titles of your videos and I see Alan's and myself, and it's always, humbling and flattering when you see like the like to dislike ratio. Because on YouTube, it's standard to have 50-50. People, there's a big time hate culture on YouTube. But I think it speaks a lot to your intent and how you come across and your audience. Like they know where you've come from. They understand the message. So when you say things that will probably offend you, Obviously, you're warning people with just that. If you're coming here, my thoughts will probably. That was actually really smart. Like my thoughts will probably offend you. So if you get offended, it's like you.
It's kind of on you. You clicked on it.
You literally saw the name that you're going to be offended. But I think it's great. I think it's great that you can say those things and people respond to it, because it's important that the message with the fat acceptance and with all this, oh, you're okay, you're healthy. I just filmed another video, and I find like I almost, part of me is, okay, you're picking on people. But at the same time, like, okay, if you feel like that, no, you have to keep on going, because if they're putting a message out, you have to counterbalance it. And it's not that I want to be part of the problem, but how do you feel about that? Because voices, it creates more noise, but I think it's important because it cuts through all that bullshit, because it's getting a little bit too much momentum.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I do, because I'm not someone I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. I never want to make anyone feel like complete shit or they're ugly or this and that. And I hope I have never made anyone feel that way. But at the same time, people are putting out this information that is, one, hurting people. Like obesity is not anything to just like love. That's not a good thing. So I do get occasionally at the beginning, when I was still like fresh to this, I would get people saying I'm a bully, and I'm like me? I'm a bully? Like I got bullied, and I'm not bullying anyone, So it's like, I definitely don't want to be part of the problem where people, I make a video and they go bully said person, but at the same time, those people are putting out information. I'm able to put out my information as long as I can say it in a very tasteful and respectful way.
As long as you're authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
I think that intent comes through, and it must, because people respond. Brittany Dawn left the chat, by the way. I just got an alert. So test. I'm blocked anyway. Yeah. So let's get into the into the mire a little bit, because obviously people are dying. They want She-Hulk, and well, I can't even be Thor anymore, because apparently it's going. Oh, we can talk about that stuff too. But I didn't follow, so I don't. I'm sure you followed comic books and you were into that since you were little. Was that like your?
I wasn't too much into like hero comic books when I was younger, actually.
Oh yeah.
I read Archie for some reason. I don't know why I did that, but
I was into Far Side. Talk about like
I like Far Side too.
Talk about like highbrow for like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that was funny.
I was stoked. I loved Far Side, Calvin and Hobbes. And I was actually really everyone was into Spider-Man and, Superman and this. Yeah. I was into Tintin. I remember I read.
Did you like Tintin?
So they made a movie. I never saw it because it looked like it was going to be horrible. But I literally read every single one of those books. I don't know. My mom raised me on black and white movies. So I've seen all the old gangster movies. I love all those movies. So I guess that kind of like type of cartoon, she got me Tintin. I'm like, everyone's reading Spider-Man. I get Tintin. I'm like, cool. So then I got into that. But, anyway. So, yeah, okay, what were we talking about? We're talking about with the superhero comics. I forget where I was going to go with that. But I don't know. I forget.
It'll come back to you.
Authenticity, intent. We're talking about these different people. We're talking about people being offended. Oh, I guess having people that are playing the victim, because it's very easy to play the victim now. And with the hashtag culture, we're talking about movies, we're talking about, female Thor, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So I have the hammer here for those that, I'm just trying not to break any of my equipment, because it's actually like probably 30 or 40 pounds, right? Maybe it's like 22 pounds empty. So I'll just hold this here. There we go. So everyone's like, there we go. Okay, it's fucking heavy. I gotta start lifting again. So now, and I was saying, because people were complaining. I saw, of course, people complain about everything. I do too, about the female Thor, but that was part of the comics. Mm-hmm. I was told that it was originally a female.
Yeah.
So I never read that, because I never followed the comics. So of course people are going to have that debate, and that segues into everything else, because Disney owns Marvel. And then you have Disney doing all these companies, everyone, even Gillette, all those things with picking on guys, picking on women, picking on all these different things, getting really involved with the whole social culture, which is, I guess, standard. What are your thoughts on all the shifts? And maybe I find it patronizing.
Yeah.
Personally, even with The Little Mermaid, I know you made a video. I actually didn't watch it, so I'm honest about it. Mm-hmm. But I saw that, and it's not that I don't want equality. I think it's great. Mm-hmm. I just think it's such a money grab. It's so fucking obvious. I'm like, I'm surprised that that black people aren't offended by that. It's like you're literally saying, hey, come to my movie and give us money because we're going to put this. It's like
the black girl in it.
Make a new movie. Make a new fucking movie.
Totally. So we touched on that a little bit in the video, and I said I wish they would just create, maybe a different character instead of making a classic character black, so then people can now go watch it. I'm not going to say I'm upset about it. Like, I mean, I'm down to see a little black girl on screen. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'd be cool if they actually, like, got creative and came out with something different. And it's completely obvious that they're doing it because it is now the age to be all-inclusive, and they know that this is going to get people talking, which it did. So they know that it's going to probably do well because of this whole thing, Same with Fat Thor. I think they did that to try and, do the whole body positive thing. But I guess the body positive people didn't like Fat Thor too much. That's
actually a good segue or a good point that I wanted to bring up. Have you seen any guys that are fat acceptance body?
From men saying, where are they in the body? There's no men and there's no muscular women.
Huh. That's true. There's no one saying like they're getting like outcast from that.
No, and I got outcast all the time when I was getting even now, well, not so much now. My personal, I don't really care what people think. I like being buff, but when I first started, at least when I was younger, when I started getting more muscular, people always said things to me all the time. But I
think it's just so much more rare to have someone, or a little bit less of a population of muscular women. I mean, more so now because fitness has exploded, but with fitness going through the roof and everything's more popular because social, so is obesity. It's not getting better. Yeah. So I find that these topics that we cover with fat acceptance is even more appropriate. Okay, I understand your feelings might be hurt. You understand my thoughts will probably offend you, but fuck your feelings. Like, these are facts. If you have diabetes, it's not an emotion. Diabetes is not an opinion. Type 2, by the way, because everyone always says, but type 1's different. You should specify. I'm like,
I think we all know what you're talking about.
Fuck. I mean, it's not like you went down to the store and just picked up diabetes one day. It's like, you acquire this. It's like a skill. Diabetes is a skill. You acquire it over years and years of effort and lack of effort. Yeah. So, I mean, with having that kind of just like massive issue, billions and billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, to have this fat acceptance thing take hold and take root, because it is in like the old school social media, magazine covers, Tess Holiday and stuff like that. How does that even get traction? Is it because people want to see more woke, as it were? People don't want to have eyelids anymore. They just want to be like, oh my God, everything, come on in. We're so accepting.
I feel like it's now cool to be all accepting to every single thing, anything, except for anorexia, and it has to be obesity.
Why is that? I mean, body positivity, of course, started with amputees and people that literally like maybe burn victims. Like, that's what real body positivity should be. People that really have things that they can't control. When it comes to the weight issue, fat acceptance, but you don't see people saying emaciated or anorexic acceptance. That's a disease, but being obese is not a disease.
I think it's because, like you said, it's more common to see obese people. So it's not a shock. Like, if you see someone fat walking down the street, it's not going to shock you. If you see someone that's anorexic walking down the street, it's going to shock people. I guess
kind of like the shift between having someone who's more muscular like yourself in the past, like it's a smaller population, so it stands out more. But then of course, obesity just becomes background noise. And I was traveling last week in the airport, and I posted a video on Instagram. It's like, people can't shut their mouths for a couple hours in the airport. They're just stuffing their face with chips. You're on a plane. I was on a flight to Ohio. It's 2 hours or something. Like, close your eyes, take a nap, watch an episode of Law and Order. You're there. And all of a sudden, people are just passing around chips. Oh, can I take 2? And they're looking through, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I can breathe for just a couple moments. I'll be a breatharian for 2 hours. Like, I can handle it.
Oh, that girl that you talked about. You just perfectly explained me on a plane when I was fat.
What, just like grabbing, like, can I take 3 of these? Do you have extras?
Yeah, can I have all of them since they're free?
Yeah. The flavor is addicting, that salty sweet.
It is.
I mean, they literally make these things in a lab.
They do. In school, I did a little little report about how, I mean, there's a ton of scientists behind it that want to make sure that they get the crunch perfect, the salt perfect. They want that specific thing that's trigger your brain to think that this is amazing.
Yeah.
So they really make people addicted.
I don't think people realize that. I don't know if they just never took chemistry in school or they never saw behind the scenes in the labs. But aside from the studies that can be skewed and biased, they do everything from the marketing. You think where the food on the shelf is an accident. You think the color of the package is an accident. You think nothing's an accident. It's tested.
No,
it's test groups. They'll say, do you like the yellow package or the red? What are you more likely to grab? They test it on the third shelf, on the top shelf, at an end cap, on the bottom, right by the checkout counter. And like you said, everything is orchestrated to have that, it's called a bliss point, where that salty sweet, where you just, because Oreos, for example, a lot of people love Oreos, but they're sweet. You don't think of Oreos as salty, but you look on the back, there's a lot of sodium.
There is.
Because they put it in there so your brain, the feeling makes you want more. If it's all sweet, you're gonna be like, oh, it's too sweet. So they balance it out. You just don't taste the salt because the artificial. So they literally test every last thing, so you can't put it down. You want another bag. So it's all about choices. It's all about choices, all about making the right decisions. But choices are just having that information, just saying that, making a YouTube video. Some people it works for, some people it doesn't. What do you find is the most important thing for actionable change? Like to reverse this whole trend of, okay, it's okay to be fat. It's okay to be, if you could snap your fingers, if you could, I guess, implement something, like what would it be to change that? What's actually the pinpoint, like the keystone?
I think it's just more about realizing the reality of the situation. Because I went through, like when I was bigger, of course, all my friends were like, oh, you look great, this and that. And I mean, I didn't feel great, but I was like, well, let's look at the reality of it. And I stripped off all my clothes and I looked in the mirror without posing or anything. And that was the reality. And I was like, whoa. I mean, what clothes and like waist trainers and whatnot can do to make you look so much better, you know? I make a lot of my clients do it too. They have to bring their little short shorts and a sports bra and I stick them in front of the mirror and we look at their body. And that's the reality of the situation. And it really opens your eyes and makes you think back to all of your unhealthy behavior.
Yeah. And it's also something that doesn't happen overnight. No. And that goes back to the 10,000 calorie challenges. That goes back to all those little snippets that you see from someone's life. You're not going to get obese in one day. Yeah. And when you have calories, it's not necessarily about eating more on one day, eating less on another day. I mean, your body doesn't know necessarily, it doesn't reset. There's no reset button. It's rolling. So over the course of 7 days, are you eating more than you need over the course of a week? It's not a hard 24 hours. And that's where I kind of find these over-calculating can be a problem. Yeah. So it brings us, we talked about a little bit about fat acceptance and that. There's a lot about calorie counting and intuitive eating. Now, just to preface this, for a long time, I even had webinars and trainings called Stop Counting Calories, the anti-diet workshop. And I've done all these different things. Yet the message is not that calories don't matter. Like intuitive eating, when you tell an addict to intuitively eat, that's not going to end well. They don't understand what the whole point is. Their body has changed. They don't have their cravings and their signals are not what they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So like what are your,
what's your
take on that?
Good thought process of like me being an ex-binger for like years, most of my life, and like where I am now, like I'm still learning how to intuitively eat. So if someone who has never dieted or never, counted calories, never looked at the back of a nutrition label, and then they're going to intuitively eat, it's probably not going to go too well. Because I've been doing it for years and I'm still learning, because I still like, I could eat a lot right now, but really I'm not hungry. I could go eat anything. I'm always down to eat, but I think intuitive eating, it just depends on the person. Right now, like I'm mentally able to be like, hey, wait, Michelle, am I hungry or am I just bored and down to just eat shitty food?
True. So, you also have more muscle mass. And most people don't realize when you have more muscle mass and you're going get away with more. You're going to feel more hungry naturally, but it's important to eat better food so your body has those signals. When you're putting in a lot of crap all the time, you're going to have signals for that crap. And some of the videos I've been making lately are these Instagram nutritionists, quote unquote. And you have all these people, dietitians, nutritionists, that are either anorexic vegans or just brain dead. People take advantage or don't take enough thought to who's watching and looking at these posts. Most people don't read a blog underneath the caption. Some do. But most people are like scrolling, seeing, moving on, or they're not going to look at it. People are selective. They're going to read and see what they want to see. If you're saying it's okay to eat donuts, they're going to think, oh, cool, I can intuitively eat. And everyone from like Madeline Georgetta to all these other nutritionists, people that have massive followings, millions of followers, I think it's completely reckless and dangerous. However, people have the right to say that stuff. And there are parts that are correct, but it's masked in all this social equality nonsense, and it's even to the nutritionists.
The thing is too is that they know that people are going to listen to the parts that are more fun. You know, they're going to listen to the parts, oh no, you can eat pizza, and that's where they're going to stop. Like that's what they want to hear, and everything else they don't want to hear. So they really beef up this. I think I saw a post that Madeline made that she went to the store and got like tons of Canadian chocolate or whatever it was, and she was like, I can eat all of this, but I highly doubt with her body she's eating that all the time. But in the
of course she's not. She'd be huge.
Yeah, and the comment section is girls like, oh, I didn't know we could eat chocolate. I didn't know we could, you know what I mean?
Very impressionable people. And you have everyone from like young girls on Instagram. You know, these things aren't age restricted. You could be 13, 14 years old on Instagram. Your parents don't let you use a phone. You can go to Instagram.com and look on the website. So there's never a shortage of acquiring this information. But you're sending your message out. So it's all about, you also can't protect everyone. You can't send out and make a comment and be like, okay, everyone's going to take this the right way. You're always going to have a couple thumbs down. You're always going to have a troll or a quote, a hater or someone with a varying opinion, which is fine. It's like, okay, you don't like this, you can move on. But it's very tribal. It's very, okay, I like this team. I'm going to believe everything that they say. Like I'm on Team Georgetta. I'm going to believe everything that she puts out. And what really pissed me off, the first video or two that I made was when she changed her whole thing with her Facebook group, including this fat phobia nonsense and this whole concept, which I actually made a video that's coming out soon. She also was talking about white privilege. And then she went into all these other issues. I'm like, whoa, you're talking about obesity. You're talking about like this. That's a completely different thing. You can't tack that on, and it has to be called out, because like politics, if you're a Democrat or Republican, all those other things are attached onto it. It's like, no, you can believe different things, and people don't have that individuality anymore. People have to learn how to learn and have to learn how to have opinions. So I think like the content that you make and that I try to make, and Alan does the same thing, is kind of shaking people up out of this just zombie state and realizing, hey, you can have your own opinion. You can have your own like nutrition plan. Like, what are your thoughts of like the labels, you know, paleo, vegan, fat accept, like what are your thoughts on the labeling aspect of it?
I'm not a label person, you know, like I'm just not like I feel like a lot of people just need a certain group to feel like they're included in something, you know, like I talked about the Tess Holiday and pansexual thing. Like, I think that she just needs to be part of something to get her, you know, to get her ratings. I don't know, to get her more traffic to her page. So I just think people just need something.
Because what is that? I mean, I think I learned what it means. That means you don't notice gender.
Yeah, you're in love with just the person.
How the fuck? Like, what do you mean you don't like? Look,
my gay friends try to like a lot of my gay friends don't even really know what it is. But as I got from the comments,
they don't even know. They're like, what are you talking about?
They don't know either. Like they ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll make a video and we'll see what the comments say.
Yeah.
But I think it's just more that they're attracted to just the person. Like, they don't see gender. You can be trans. You can be anything.
I mean, which is fine, but when you say
something,
totally when she says something like, okay, I'm a pansexual now, it's a grab for attention because the dust settled and she's kind of addicted to it, just like she's addicted to food and addicted to lacking common sense. But it's also this kind of gray area that people play in. So when you say fat acceptance, what does that mean? When you say body positivity, what does that mean? It means something different to every person. It means something different. So your version of body positivity might be, look, if you have more muscle, like it's fine. And someone else might be, well, if I don't have arms, it's fine. And to love yourself, that's completely separate. Again, it's diabetes is not an emotion. It's not a choice you can make like, I'm going to be a diabetic today. I'm going to be a male, a female. Like these are different concepts. And if you take emotion, you take feeling out of it, what are the facts? Are you hurting yourself and hurting those around you? And I think the impact of actions, especially those that have massive followings, are understated. And like the chain reaction, because I know your content helps a lot more people than you're aware of. Not everyone's going to send you and be like, oh, I watched this video and I changed my life and I want to thank you. You'll get a lot of those messages, but then you also won't hear about the ones that you've helped because not everyone will give you that feedback. But also that negative effect that these people are having, they're putting into their brains that you're not only beautiful the way you are, but that the health and that kind of stuff is also a gray area mirage, and it's not.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because in one of my videos, Tess Holiday actually reposted in her stories, and I was reading some of the comments, or like her people came to like my page and was saying, how does she influence people to be fat? And I'm like, well, if she didn't have a big influence, she wouldn't have all these people trying to get her to wear certain clothes to influence people to buy it. I mean, she has a huge influence on people, and she might not be influencing people to be fat. Like, no, I don't think any girl's going to be like, oh, I want to be her size. But I think it does influence people to stay the way that they are and cover up any health issues that they have with their weight.
It's an excuse.
For sure.
I guess it's an excuse. People can make an excuse and say, well, I'm just intuitively eating today, or I'm beautiful the way I am, self-love, which is, I think is great. There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to love yourself. But I always say, if you're going to love yourself, why don't you YOLO, you only live once. Don't you want to live well? You love yourself. Don't you want to give yourself better food and exercise? But I think it's also hard because not everyone is going to look like you. Not everyone is going to look like me because there's only one of you. There's only one of me. And the bio-individuality, DNA, genetics. I also think in terms of that, people don't realize how little we know. Mm-hmm. I think humans, especially on the internet, because people live in a bubble, they're always looking down, think we have the stuff figured out. If you just look up once in a while, and I do that, you look up in the sky and you're like, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
If we just don't know. We don't have all the answers, especially with what food style or way of eating is best. What are your thoughts about that type of range? Because you have those extremes, but then you also have the diet. You have the vegan, carnivore. I know some people are going to want to, go into the nutrition aspect of it. Like, what are your thoughts of those types of extremes? Is it people that just want attention? Is it people that are just trying to overcomplicate an answer? Or
I think it's just them trying to get people to like I said, people love extremes. People love like, oh, this juice cleanse, like this is the sure thing. They want something to attach themselves to so that it makes them more important, because when I tell people always want to know my diet. And I say, well, I eat, mostly protein, carbs, and healthy fat. And they want to know, like, is it keto? Is it like a, low fat? Like, no, it's like a pretty wide range of foods. I try to keep everything in there at a healthy rate. And I think people just want that one thing that they can attach themselves on and do.
It's that tribal mentality, and it's that type of, it's having a community.
Yeah,
and really,
I think that's what it really is. And I think that's how like the body positive people are. They like that little community. And I never was I was always the new girl at school every single year. So I didn't have like that huge group of friends. So as I aged, I kind of just became more of a lone wolf type person. I don't really need, to be accepted by a huge group.
Yeah, I agree with that. I never did. I had friends like in college. I had friends in all the fraternities, but I never wanted to be labeled. I never wanted to be, oh, you're this fraternity or you're this person. Because then you get associated with all the people there. I'm like, no, I'm going to be independent. Like, I don't like choosing political parties. I don't like paying attention to politics because then you can't make accurate decisions. If your brain, and I think that's where, like for me personally, I rarely follow anyone's content because I don't want my opinions getting biased by other people's stuff because things get in your brain. They get deep in there and they just gestate and they fester, and then your thoughts aren't even your own anymore.
True. I said in my videos before that I cut out because then when I was like probably early 20s, I was watching a lot of reality television, a lot of music videos. I was following a lot of people, models and stuff like that. And I felt like I was getting very, my brain was just changing about what was truly important to me. So when I cut all that out, I felt more like myself, and I had my own opinion, again.
But most people don't. Most people follow the news. They'll watch everything. They'll follow every little thing. Because, for example, Instagram, I don't know if you can unfollow people and not see what they post, but obviously on Facebook, you can customize your feed. But on Instagram, you just get, it's that scroll feature, which is easy. It's like, oh, cool, a thumb. But then every time you see a picture of a fucking baby or someone's dog's cute, by the way. Your dog's cute, by the way.
Oh, you see my dog? I didn't know if you were going to dress up as Thor. I was going to go get her a Thor outfit, actually.
Yeah, mine's out there on the porch getting some sun. But I love the princess thing with the little hat. I love how is it a pug? Is that? Yeah. So I love how pugs always look pissed. Like they always look not impressed. They're always just like.
She is actually depressed and pissed.
She's on medication.
Yeah.
She's what? She's in the acceptance movement. She's like, your thoughts offend me, Mom.
She does. Let me get my charger really quick, okay?
Yeah, sure. So, what's up, fam-wise? How we doing? Let's see some comments. Pugs always look pissed. Pug life. Well, when it comes to you're either a man or a woman, I'm getting some good comments. Anyway, there are a lot of opinions. I think what's great about everything that's going on in the world is we have access to all this information. We have access to a lot of different opinions. But what I find is a challenge personally, or one of the issues, is because people don't know how to learn. People don't know how to formulate their own opinions. People just jump on a bandwagon. And it's okay to have an idea. It's okay to have different things. That's how we communicate. It's okay to have a name for different things. But at the same time, it's important to understand that you can have the power to make these analytical adjustments in your own brain. You don't have to just follow the leader. So we get a lot of people that just follow the leader, jump on a train. Okay, fat acceptance. Okay, I'm part of this group. And you change the rules. Now I'm just in it. And that actually happened with one of those things with Madeline Georgetta's. She had a group, her little private Facebook group and stuff. And then she literally just changed the rules and said, if you don't like it, get the fuck out. And when you say that to someone, when you tell someone to get out, it uses compassion as a weapon, which is one of the dangers. And this is where all those issues with socialism and communism, that's where that kind of stuff comes from. It comes from fighting people and from, I guess, that kind of clash out of compassion. So I was just kind of catching people up. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can.
Right. So I was just kind of getting everyone up to speed, just kind of talking about how everyone, they want to join, that people want support, people want a community, because everyone's kind of online or in their own bubbles. Because in real life, like, how many people would you say, just to preface this, I'm a private person. I don't like being around massive crowds all the time. I'm not afraid. I'm very social. But I prefer to be and do my own thing. I like my peace and quiet. I love my alone time. I am such a hardcore loner. However, people don't notice that because I'm like in front of thousands of people. I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm a psychopath. But I like to be.
I am very similar to that. And my boyfriend had to understand that because he thinks I'm like, I am very social. I love being around people. I love talking to people. But I also feel like I get my energy like drained out of me when I'm around people for too long. And I feel so much happier by myself. I can think better. I can get stuff done. And it's just my thing, especially, I don't know if you train people in person, but when at least when I worked at LA Fitness a long time ago, and you're just like client after client after client for, 6 hours, and I want to get home and just not see any type of human. So I don't know. I've heard that a lot with other trainers, just because you're constantly giving your energy to people. And once you get home, you just kind of want to just you're giving
a part of yourself, and you're giving. And a lot of trainers, we were talking yesterday on the podcast, I think it was yesterday on the podcast, about fat trainers. Like, who do you trust a fat trainer? Yeah. Honestly, some of these trainers get fat because they're just so drained. They don't want to be in the gym. Mm-hmm. They don't want to train. I used to train. It's convenient to go from a client and then do a quick workout. But then there's a long period where I left and went to a different gym. I didn't want to be in the same. I didn't want people to talk to me. Mm-hmm. I get my workout in first, then I would do that after. I don't train one-on-one anymore because I burned out. I burned out from doing in-person training.
Same.
And plus, obviously with the internet, it's more, you can get more done with the same effort. So for me and, members of my private community and Swolenormous X and all that, it's like you do your thing, you do one thing, and then everyone benefits and you can help more people, you can do more. So it's actually really effective. I mean, one-on-one might be great for, I guess, rehab or someone who are really obese, like really need hands-on. Some people really need it. Other people, it's a luxury. But I think part of me is kind of, I saw personal training or one-on-one just become more and more of a, why am I here? Why am I counting? Like, why am I just spotting you? Good, squeeze, breathe. It's like, bro, you know how to do a bench press.
Right.
Get a partner spot, save yourself some money, save me time.
I think it's just a security blanket for some people. I mean, you have to think about it. Your trainer's not going to be around you all the time. You have to do it yourself. That's really what it comes to. Someone is going to be there to guide you, but for all the other hours of the day, you kind of have to do it. You have to do it yourself.
For sure.
And if you can't do it yourself, then you're not going to get results anyway.
It's like seeing you 3 times a week. Okay, well, you're going to have a great workout on those days, but what are you doing outside? So then the trainer has to provide you with all these different things. Anyway, so that kind of leads me into another thought. What about nutrition? How do you think, here's what I have an issue with social media, and also I've had this issue with trainers a long time. So for me, I like to guide people. This is just a little background for some of your members or your audience. I always talk about the elimination diet. I talk about getting rid, maybe one at a time, doesn't have to be a big thing, but start cutting out foods that could be causing you issues. So focus on quality with the quantity in mind. Some people love to go after calorie counting first. They're very analytical math people. They just want to see numbers. Cool. They want to check something off and see the pie chart on MyFitnessPal. Some people, they're not like that. They'll always forget to enter, which is a huge problem. If you forget to enter something, you're overeating your calories. So it's better to teach them better habits, get better food where they're unlikely or less likely to overeat. So you go from that and then you progress slowly into it. Having clients that are, or people that need to be self-starting, there's always that kind of like give and take. There's always, you have to care, but you also have to compartmentalize it, because as trainers, as essentially givers and service providers, it's very draining. And to have someone not put in their kind of effort, I don't think the clients and the members oftentimes, like you said, you have someone write something down, this is our agreement, but they don't understand that it's their responsibility, that their effort and their part of the bargain has to be held up.
Right.
And people lose that fact that you're the one you're the one making the commitment, not me. You're bringing me in, but you have to be ready to really fucking dig in. But you have these high expectations from what you see online. Oh, cool, I'm going to start a fitness program. You've been lifting for 10 years. I've been doing it for 18, 19. What do you think is going to happen overnight? And people don't want to hear that. And you get fried out. But what's your take on like food quality with your clients or your people? Like, how do you address the counting versus, because that's where we're getting with like the latest content with the intuitive eating. We're bringing it back around because we didn't dig into this aspect of it. But what are your thoughts on that with your people?
Well, it kind of just depends on who I'm working with. With myself, I was all into calorie counting, like it, and the problem with that was I was counting calories and I was losing weight, but I was eating very shitty processed, lots of food coloring type foods, a lot of protein shakes, which I know a lot of people love, but it's still not real food. It's still, made by a human, and you want to try to eat as much natural food as you can. At least I try to. So I was losing weight, but my food quality wasn't the best. So like I had to take a whole nother step to change the food quality now. And that was just, I could have done that all at once, but it did work for me. Some people hate counting calories. And so we try to it's kind of hard. It just depends on the person. Some people hate counting calories. They have to do the elimination diet that you were talking about. So it just depends on who it is. Usually my thing is counting calories and looking at the food quality, because then we know that you're below, you're eating a reasonable amount of calories and you're still having like really good food quality. If it's someone like, say, Tess Holiday, who obviously doesn't eat the best food, we do very small changes, because there's no way in hell they're going to eat how I eat now when they're just starting.
For sure.
Do, once again, your thing, elimination diet, and slowly reduce things out of their diet until,
And what's interesting about like Tess Holidays or like obesity like that, I think there's this concept or this idea that they're eating 5,000 calories a day. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you're obese, you don't have a lot of muscle mass in general. You're not exercising properly. So you're not utilizing a lot of, it doesn't take that much extra to pack on more. Like you look like, wow, they're huge. Well, just don't eat 10,000. Like they're not eating 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I mean, sometimes they are,
Yeah.
but it might only take 2,500 to even add on to a 300 or 400 pound frame because you're not utilizing that much. You're not exercising. You're not getting up. You don't have a lot of lean tissue. You're just have a lot of extra.
Yeah.
So you're just not, people lose track. They don't think it's not hard to eat 2,500 calories, especially when
No.
you're eating processed foods. And there's this illusion, I think, that you have to eat, the bigger you are, the more you eat. No, it's about your lean mass and your metabolism, which obviously gets affected. Do you think, what's your take on someone that, okay, you do a lot of this stuff is environmental. A lot of the issues are environmental in terms of, okay, how you're eating, obesity. But then you have people that blame, okay, my thyroid or other types of issues. And of course, there's like all these like xenoestrogens and things in shampoo products, and you can really get into the weeds, but it all makes sense. We're putting tons of chemicals and things that might be, natural somewhere in the world, but maybe not on our bodies or on our beards and on our faces 24 hours a day. So you're putting shampoo on and then you're smelling it, and all these different things have triggers, and there's so many variables that we can't track all of them, not to mention pollution. I mean, water quality, who knows? And most people aren't doing the best or even aware of half of this stuff. So do you think a lot of this stuff with the issues, it's hard to tell someone that has a thyroid issue that, well, probably eating bad when you were 8, 9, 10, when you're having this, that probably caused it. And then blaming that the fact you can't lose weight on your thyroid is like, you're blaming the wrong thing. Like you're forgetting the fact that this caused that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I mean, when people come to me, and my clients don't do this anymore because I proved them wrong tons of times, but usually when I get a new client and they say, oh, I have thyroid issue or PCOS, which I also have too, and they blame the PCOS, I say, okay, hold on for 1 second.
Sure.
Can you still see me?
Yeah, but you froze really funny. You have your mouth open, your eyes closed. So I'll take you off this. I'll take you off the screen, but it's pretty funny. Oh yeah, I thought I took you off the screen, but then I put you on the screen. So you're still frozen on my end.
Am I back?
Oh yeah, you're back. There we go. Hey.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't know why it does that when people call me, but so usually if I get someone who's like, well, I have this condition and it's not possible for me to lose weight, and I'm like, okay, I completely understand, but how about we try it my way? We stay at a calorie deficit, we get our exercise in, and we stay consistent for about 3 months, and if there's absolutely no change, then fine, it's the thyroid. But usually it's them not being able to stay consistent, they overeat, they don't get their workouts in, and they still blame the you know what I mean? So
of course
you can't, after that, fine, you can blame it, but if you're not sticking to something, you can't blame the thyroid anymore. You have to blame yourself.
Yeah, and most people that use things like I don't know if you ever use Fitbits and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of any of those things. I don't buy that shit. You're gonna tell me how many calories I burned based on what? I don't know. I mean, it's an approximation.
They like seeing the number.
But people take that and it's gold, and it's like, I burned this many calories. How come not losing weight? Well, you're consuming too many. Like, yeah, you didn't pay attention in high school when we did like arithmetic. Yeah. So let me see. All right, people. I know we didn't really talk about this concept too much, but let's talk about our girl. Let's talk about Brittany a little bit, because I know everyone's gonna.
I love Brittany.
I know you do. I loved her too.
Did you see me dress up? Did you see me cosplay as her?
No, I didn't. Was that in a video? Oh God, I missed that one.
It's on my Instagram. I held, that little picture she held out saying, it said something like, "I belong to myself before I belong to anyone else."
Oh, I think I might have. I
took that and I put on like the short little wig and a pink outfit, and I was like, I scammed 500 people and took all their money and went to Hawaii.
Oh God. Yeah. You found these little aspects of it that I didn't even pick up, like all these little nuances. And I'm watching, Alan did one on like the sponsorship issues, and it seems like there's just so many different layers. I am shocked. Well, first off, I thought it was flattering and funny when in her, I guess, calling out the haters video that she. Oh yeah, she
had a whole segment in there.
She didn't say my name. I'm like, first off, we
all know who you're talking about.
Say it. And the fact that I was always transparent, it's like this. social media is a game. It is, but it isn't. The attention game is you try to get people's attention so you can provide your message.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you do things and you find trending topics. It's called newsjacking. That's what the news is. They do it. It's like, oh, people are saying you're just trying to get views. Yeah, of course.
That's what everybody does.
Why would I
posting on YouTube? Why would you not want to get views?
Why would I post a video if I didn't want anyone to see it? I'll keep it private. I have a YouTube channel, but no one knows.
Right? Like, I love when people say you just want attention. Duh. That's why I paint myself green. Like,
yes.
what are you talking about?
That's why I dressed up my dog. What the?
Yeah. What do you mean? Of course I want it. I love attention.
So you have a message and you want to get it across, and it's the creative like humor of it. Like, I love comedy. I love roast comedy. Obviously, you love the same thing. So like, I'm the type of person, and I'm sure you are too, that if we were on stage or one of those Comedy Central roasts and someone's making fun of you, you'd be laughing your ass off.
It's funny.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I got that from my mom, because when I make fun of her, she's dying laughing.
Well, my whole family, like I've grown up, like I'll go back home and I just get roasted straight when I walk in the door. So I mean, I'm so used to it. My boyfriend's so opposite. Like, he's fine with it with me. Like, I'll roast him, he'll roast me. But his family's just so different than mine. And I like say one tiny joke, and his sister looks like she's about to cry, and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot.
Chill out. Snowflakes are melting. Turn up the AC.
Right? Yeah. So I'm just like, sometimes people get like I called God Sky Daddy, and
I saw that. It was so funny.
And she was so offended, and I'm like, I mean, I didn't say anything bad. You know?
God. People are so sensitive, and social media gives them a platform to, I guess they feel like they're right. But this is kind of human nature. Like you said, that was in person. That wasn't over social media. That was in person. They were offended, right? Or like when you're in person and you said something, like these are the same people that maybe don't say anything, keep it inside, but they'll have a conversation.
They find themselves online and they voice it.
It's the human nature of having a conversation behind someone's back, only you're posting it online now.
Yeah.
So I didn't like what they said. I didn't tell them to their face, but now that they're gone, and they go on Twitter and they just, blow it up. Yeah. People are like, I'm religious and I can laugh at that. It's funny. Humor is humor. And I think humor is one of the last, it's literally the last, it's always been the place where you could say the truth and get away with it, in the sense that people accept it as a realm. And I find it a little bit dangerous when you see like these comedians that say things, that tweet things, and they get in trouble. It's like, that's really dangerous when comedians can't have an opinion or say something. So it's almost like say ridiculous stuff to keep that kind of like, balance. I guess that gauntlet open. Like with me, with like driving while gaining and stuff. Like when I started and it kind of like grew, I have my straightforward content where I'm providing value, and I have the ones where I'm just like a psychopath, because it gives me.
I love those ones.
I have another one.
I have two more. I want him to go crazy.
I have two more. I have two more coming. So for those of you, now I'll post the next one probably tomorrow. Then, now that I have a brand new fan, but but it gives you the range when you.
Since we're on the topic of like comedy, I wanted your opinion, because no one has talked about her in a while, but
I'm ready.
What's her name? Nicole Arbor says that she's a comedian. Do you remember her?
No, I'll look her up right now.
She's the girl that did what is it? Something to fat people. I can't remember what it is. If you put Nicole Arbor, her biggest one will come up. It's the fat people, responding to fat people. Dear fat people.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's called Dear Fat People.
What was it about?
Well, she just pretty much, complains about fat people and says all these jokes, and people went ape shit. Like, there were death threats. She was on the news. Her channel got taken down, I think, if I remember correctly.
I haven't heard her. So she's a comedian.
She claims to be a comedian. I'm not sure what she says.
Okay.
So
well,
I was curious, like, with that being said, like, is it bad? Do you think what she did was like too out there?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch this. I see a bunch of these. I see the most offensive video ever.
Yeah.
Why depressed?
Because I can see where people were coming from with that, but at the same time, I was like, I've heard worse things, on like actual comedians.
I'm gonna have to look at this. It's probably. Just without. Obviously, I'm talking out my ass. I don't really. But it seems like just from her thumbnails and maybe her approach, it's got to be the delivery. Or maybe
I think it was the delivery. I was always curious to see like someone else who's into fitness. Like, what did you think? Like when I saw it, I was like, ooh, she's probably gonna get torn to shreds. But at the same time, I was like, wait, I've heard like some really bad things from like, stand up.
I'm just looking here. I'm seeing Dear Black People. That's a good title.
I never watched it. I should watch that.
That's a hard opener right there.
It is a hard opener, but it got people's attention.
You got to come out of the gate with that one. So I can't see her like and dislike rate. I wonder why.
Yeah. That's the other kind of shady thing about her is that she takes off all the comments. So I'm like, okay, you should at least, if you're gonna dish it out, at least take the comments.
So I just loaded this up. The second top comment says whether she's right or not, the delivery was seriously cringy.
Yeah.
So that's it's some people can get. I mean, obviously she's getting attention, but what kind of attention? I mean, you'll see. Okay, let's say Kanye. You say, oh, there's no bad attention. I mean, he's very brilliant in the way that he goes about it because he knows how to hack like the social, culture. But I guess depends. Again, it comes back to the intent. It's like that sixth sense. People can figure it out. People can sense. They know what because there are a lot of people like us that talk about these issues and they get either flack for it. But I mean, I'm not soft in my delivery. Neither are you, and neither is Alan. But there's just overwhelming support. So I think it depends on like the message you're sending. You're not making fun of, like, I'm not making fun of overweight people. I'm not making fun of them. I'm trying to shake people up out of this zombie state and be like, you have fucking control. You can make that change if you actually just do something and stop listening to this snowflake bullshit. You're not a victim. Take responsibility.
Well, I think what's different with all of us is that when we deliver something, we talk about obesity. We also try to give a solution at least. And I think with hers, she was just raging on him.
I can't wait to watch these videos.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what you think about it.
I want to watch the Dear Black People one.
What you think about that too?
Because I'm probably like, I might be 0.5% African, so I can.
Oh, there you go.
I can say no.
It's the one drop rule. If you have one drop, you're a brother.
One apart as a whole. I haven't. My mom sent me. I guess it was like some kind of thing, like a special from Amazon around Christmas. I still haven't done an ancestry test. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, are you gonna do that?
I know. I'm going to. Yeah.
Is it? I can't think of the word.
Accurate?
Now. Like,
accurate,
yeah,
or is it? Are they just like logging you so they can track you? The government is a conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm actually really into conspiracy theories.
You are?
Yeah.
I mean, look at conspiracies. The thing is, there are real ones and there are fake ones. And the thing is, because there's so many voices and so many opinions, no one knows anymore. You can hide a real conspiracy in a conspiracy, and then be like, no, it's true. And you're like, you're lying to me. It's like no one believes the truth, even when it's not the truth. But yeah, it could be. But I say, look, I posted so much content. People know where I am. They know where I am. Like right now, like this guy's streaming from his like office. Like they can find me if you don't want to use any technology, no power, live off the grid in the woods, like in Montana, then you're off the grid. But
you mean like what's her face? That vegan girl, banana girl.
Oh, where was she when she was like posting? I made a video on her that.
Well, how is she off the grid if she's still able to post?
I thought that myself. I was like, how are you? Where do you get Wi-Fi from? Like in the jungle? Was she like a satellite thing? She's like.
Yeah, I was like, how is she doing that?
She's got a lot of. She's like she's literally vlogging all day with her phone. Right? You're so naturally in nature. You're literally like she's filming herself showering and picking up fruit. It goes back. Yeah, that thing. I made a video on her about her hating human beings. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think she likes humans at all. I'll read some of her stuff and I'm like, I mean, you can be a vegan. I don't care if you're a vegan. That's fine.
I don't care either.
But the way that she approaches topics and delivers her opinion is just like.
She uses that. She has that very like Hitler-esque like hand thing going on there. It's just a little bit. It's below the shoulder, so she can get away with it. Yeah. It's very. I find a lot of this like the militant vegans are very anti. But when I made that video, in the comments it was just tons because I took the vegan side. Like vegans, this is giving vegans a bad name, and all the vegans in the comments were like, we hate her. So that's like no matter who you are, if you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. But
exactly.
Yeah, I don't mind vegans. I just don't like when people tell other people what to do because vegan is a very specific, unique belief. It's not okay. I want to be. If you're pursuing that for health, however you got there, fine. If you're healthy and you like it, you can stick to it. But this kind of brings me up to another thing. I wanted to get your take on it. fitting like a square peg into a round hole and vice versa. People are trying to, they believe, okay, vegan, I want to protect the animals. I don't want to kill animals. I want, help the environment. Cool. But they just force vegan in every different way. And they literally look like they're dying. Like they're sick. They're not well.
I think I saw part of your video on that woman. People asked me to do a video on her, but I just didn't. But
which one?
The really small woman.
Christina Glows?
What's her name?
There's two.
Black hair.
Christina Glows?
Yeah.
The first one I did, because I did another one.
I think it was the first one.
Yeah.
And
there's no shortage of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking like that, and no offense to her or anything, but she looks very unhealthy. You know, it's like me. I don't know if it's like the same thing, but me like getting like super like bodybuilding status muscular and telling people do this, it's healthy, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's not healthy.
Yeah, I think the problem that I had with her and with all these other people, look, if you're vegan and you're emaciated and you're like on Instagram, I'm not going to come after you and I'm not going to make a video about that. But when these people have health coach and counselor or nutritionist, dietitian, I help people lose. You're going to take advice. It's like a fat personal trainer. It's like, get your own life in order.
Right.
You're going to take business advice from someone who's never had a business. You're going to take financial advice from someone who's bankrupt and never actually, it's like, it doesn't make sense. You're not going to never take nutrition advice from someone who's fatter than you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you do it yourself. It depends on what the context is, but that's what really gets under my skin is people that are saying that they're helping other people. You need to help yourself first.
Well, I mean, all of it's fair game when you're trying to tell other people what to do. You know what I mean? Like if you're giving advice, because then I'm able to give advice about your advice, Yeah.
Well, I think this reminds me because this is how my brain works, everyone. So if I'm asking a question, I go over here and I go over here, like this is literally all the time. They're just thoughts like it's like Super Smash Brothers upstairs, like just fucking things.
Super Smash Brothers?
I have it for 64.
Oh, I love it. We play that all the time. I love Super. Everybody, we want to like try to what's it called? Twitch game together.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows how to do that.
Well, I just don't know if we can do it. Well, you know what? There probably is a way with emulators now that everything's online because those games are taken up. They used to be you need a whole system. Now you just download it. So if we can do that, I'll totally play Super Smash online. I'm sure there's some type of like website where they stream it. Amazon, I don't know if it was Amazon, but there was another company that was, Google did that. Google Stadio. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's like 4K, it's like full HD gaming, but it's all on the cloud. There's no system. It's all through like the TV. I don't know if they released it, but I remember hearing about it. So that could be something cool. But I mean, all those little emulators, like those games are not that large compared to the ones now in terms of file sizes. So that'd be super cool. But it reminded me about the vegans and did I forget again? Super Smash. I guess I died. I fell off the edge. Get on Steam. Anyway, so people are like, yes, you can. Well, I don't know in the comments. I don't know. I don't game.
He only rages in his car.
Yeah, that's all I do. I rage in the car and I turn off. It multiplies because I'm in South Florida, so it's hot. And to get the audio, I have like no air on, so I'm like sweating and raging, and I'm drank some coffee, and I'm on the way to the gym, literally. So I'm like amping myself up. I'm usually like sweating afterwards, and it's intense. Damn, what were we just talking about? We talked about 64. Talking about video gaming. Talk about something with nutrition. I was going to talk something about
vegan.
Yeah, elimination. I was going to talk about something. I had something that I wanted your opinion on, your take. Anyway, so is there anything you're working on? When it comes to, I don't know, anyone. Anyway, is there anyone that stands out that you haven't made a video on? I know you don't want to give away maybe like upcoming content, but who's like the worst offender, do you think? Who do you think like the worst offender? I mean, they're all different, I know.
Yeah, they're all different. I mean, Tess Holiday is really just anyone from the body positive community, but Tess is like the biggest one, not physically.
She's the biggest one. That's why I think I did my video. I'm like, this is a massive, massive problem. You look aside like,
I know, like, wait.
Anyone? Bueller, you got that? Got that in the back? I see you. I see you.
Like, I feel like Tess has the most influence because she's part of mainstream media, in my opinion. So, I mean, she's the one that I enjoy talking about the most because, not really enjoy, I don't find Tess Holiday that exciting to talk about. Like, I don't find her life all that exciting, or I'm not entertained when I watch her stuff. It's just entertaining to see the way that she thinks and how she's trying to perpetuate this lie that she's healthy.
Yeah.
But but if I was just a normal person looking at her feed, I wouldn't be entertained.
Yeah.
So, but she's the main person that I like to talk about because she spreads so much misinformation.
Yeah, it's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of this just I guess the how you feel inside. But I do get it when someone is internalizing other people's opinions, internalizing other people's emotions. Like if you stop worrying about if other people are body positive, this and the other, and you focus on not giving a shit about what anyone thinks, you don't need to join a movement. You just don't give a fuck what they think. Like if someone like how do you deal with, because I mean of course you're gonna get negativity and pushback on your videos. I mean, I literally, it doesn't even affect me. That's why I don't watch a lot of content. I answer comments on Instagram, YouTube. There's just too many to go through. So I address a couple of them, give a couple hearts and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, any kind of negativity, it's like, you can't even let that in your life. And I think that's the only way you can create content is, and a lot of people don't because, oh, I'm afraid, I'm nervous. It's like, you're going to get ripped apart. Like someo's going to not like your video.
Someone's not going to like you just because you're you.
Yeah.
And then you're saying your opinion at the same time. So they're, it's just how it is. Yeah. So I do think it's very funny how Tess Holliday says that she doesn't care what people think, but she's constantly addressing, hate comments or, whatnot. When it's like all of us, me, you, Alan, and James always get hate comments, not like tons, but we do get our occasional, roasting in the comment section. But are we really going to have that affect us?
No.
To the point that we start a movement and force people to like us?
Right. Yeah. Let's start a movement. I mean, I've had people call my stuff like, oh, the Swole movement. I'm like, don't label it. don't label it. Cause then it's kind of like part of the problem. And then it's like, I don't know. But I mean, it's, the same thing with like Madeline Georgetta and her camel toe thing. That's what actually, that was one of the things that started me. And I didn't even realize until after I made all these other videos. I'm like, that video I think is like my most watched video. Like it has the most views. And it was like in the background. I didn't even look at it. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. Cause I guess after all the other stuff kicked up, then that one kind of gained steam. But she posted that picture of her, or the video with her with the camel toe, I guess had deleted it, but then reposted it to complain about people noticing it and saying, stop talking. I'm like, then why'd you, it's this weird like cry for attention. But what is sad about her content is that I thought it was probably garbage from the beginning, but she's taking tons of sponsorships. I don't know if you have any kind of like sponsorships or ads or anyone like that.
Nobody sponsor me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do it either, but I think that's part of the authenticity behind it because there's no other hands in the cookie jar. And anytime you take a sponsor or Writer Wear or Gymshark or any of these things or people, and I'm sure you've had people message you or email you like, hey, we love to run this or we love to send you this. And it's like, cool. But like, people don't send free shit. I know what you want. Like, I don't really want your.
I mean, I never got, like I've gotten once, but did you see the one, I talked about Kim Kardashian and I actually messaged the company and I was like, hey, I have a video idea. And they were like, oh, we'll sponsor your video. And so it was like a free tattoo thing that I got of my dog on my chest to go with my video. And that's about it. So I usually try to get, like, if I ever get a sponsorship, it'll be connected to the video or something that I really believe in.
I mean, a sponsorship, I think, is different than like, hey, let me send you a product. Yeah. And it's like, cool, okay, like, for example, like this hammer that I have. Like, I didn't buy it. Someone sent it to me. They're like, hey, man, like, we love your content. You want a Thor hammer? I'm like, fuck yes. I'm not going to say no to that. And it's a cool company and it's like fitness stuff. It's like strongman company.
And that's up your alley. Like, that's you.
Yeah. So it was cool, but I wasn't like, I want to voluntarily offer like my recommendation. So for example, let's say you come across a supplement or a food or a clothing line. When you say it's because you purchased it, you liked it, or you really enjoyed it, you're not getting anyone to tell you to say that. If someone sponsors it, then you have to say, oh, this is this, that, and the other. And then it devalues your own opinions because then, well, is this because of someone that's giving her money? Is she giving, it takes away from the authenticity of your own opinions. And for someone that makes highly opinionated videos, that's a high risk situation.
I've had quite a bit of people like message me and then I'm like, okay, well, what is it about? And it's usually about like, it's clothing. And I'm like, okay, I can do clothes, but what do I have to actually say? And they always want me to do like a 2-minute, like talk about their clothing and then and I'm just like, okay, I have to say exactly what, like, I want to say what I want to say. about it, you know?
Yeah.
What
Like
I don't
if they
it?
send you something and they say, we just want your honest opinion, review. If you don't like it, then you say what you want, or like what it should be is you don't have to, you don't say anything. There's no obligation. If they send you like, cool, I like it, but you don't say anything, that's cool. And I've had that. I've had people send me like, hey, I have a beard balm or beard oil. Like, what do you use for this? I'm like, I put X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you want to send me something, but I just say there's no guarantee that I don't do sponsorship. So if I like it, maybe I will, but you know,
they don't like that
don't take it personally, but I might not say anything. But if I do like it, I want it to be from me. And that's why I like buying things. If I try something, then it's like, okay, it's my dime, it's my money. Here, I like this, or here, this sucks. Then it's just like anyone else. It's like an open boxing. So in terms of, I don't know if I asked you this already. What's your diet like? Like, what are you kind of like focus on in terms like what?
Well, with the endometriosis, I don't know if any other girl feels like it gets this. I get very nauseous, nauseous sometimes. So I kind of have to go with whatever I'm able to eat. But it's normally just like a lean protein, some kind of rice or potato, and fruits and vegetables. That's usually what I eat. I came across, so I didn't buy the hot Cheetos. I bought white cheddar Cheetos, and those are like my new like thing that I try not to buy, but I do. I have some downstairs.
Hey, well, you know, and then again, it goes back to like, well, if you're training all the time, you have this whole history, your body is like those kind of things are like little, your body doesn't notice them, but
yeah, but usually it's just like lean protein. I don't like a lot of seafood, but I do like salmon. And then we'll do like steak. Usually it's like a fattier meat at night.
I love it. There's, I guess because you've been doing, how long are you making YouTube videos? When do you think, I know you said you used to do a relationship stuff at the beginning, but when was like your first video about?
I feel like it had to be like 4 or 5 years ago. And I actually talked about the time where my wig almost flew off in front of the guy that I liked at the grocery store.
And that wasn't cosplay, was it?
No, it wasn't cosplay.
That's awesome. Were you how'd that fall off? Were you in a car or was it like
No, it was
another situation?
So, you know, like us buff people have to like get all of the grocery things all over our arms.
Oh, effort to be lazy.
Yeah.
One trip.
Yes. So
yeah,
like
absolutely.
He worked at Trader Joe's and I wanted to look real. I mean, I don't know what guy thinks this is cool. A girl putting all these grocery things around her arms, but in my head, that's very cool. But so I put it like all around my arm, and my hair got in between the bag, and it started like I felt it like nudging, and then I feel my hair slowly shifting, and I'm like, oh shit, I think it's gonna come off, and then it did, and I just kind of just walked really quick. I still got a date though.
Oh, this is before? This is like first date type thing?
This is like before he even talked to me.
Oh, so like so you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's all and he's like, damn, I guess this girl, she's fast. She's super.
Yeah, well, he was a track star, so like he saw me run. I guess that kind of sold him.
And you're like, shit.
I know.
You're like, text me. You're like, fuck. That's awesome. Someone's asking, what'd you use for the green body paint?
Snazaroo.
Okay, I'm sure someone knows what. Did you just like sneeze, or was that English?
I've never said that out loud before.
Snazaroo?
It could be Snazaroo. I'm gonna go with Snazaroo.
Okay, I'll take it. That's a cool story. I'm trying to think if I have any other stories. Mama Swole likes to do that too. She's like, oh, I can handle it. I'm like, I know, but it's bigger than you are. It's like an ant that can carry like 200 times its body weight. It just doesn't affect
something about short people. We have short people syndrome. That's what my boyfriend calls it.
Yeah. You have like,
even when he's there to help me, I'm like, no.
You like compensate, like I can do this.
Yeah, like he's like, what?
I try to do it now and again when she's like, do we have any of this, or I can't reach that? And I'm like, how do you not? It's literally like the top shelf. And I go like this and I reach. So I like squat down. I'm like, oh, you can't even see what's on it. Like you can't even see what's on the shelf. Like you really can't even see up there. So like for a whole, like for, I couldn't do it because my quads started burning. So I'm like squatting down, like walking around, like, this is the way you live? Like it's so much harder to breathe down here. I'm getting so much more oxygen. It's like, oh my God.
Does she have her own personal stool?
Yeah, it's actually in here because I was trying to tweak my camera settings and stuff. So I had to go and grab the standard stool.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I didn't know she was short. That's awesome.
I think she's like, I don't know, 5'5". Yeah, I think she's like 5 foot. I think maybe when it's sunny out. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Which ironic. My sister's name is Sunny, but yeah. So let me see. They're getting to the weeds in the comments, no doubt. But what are your, I guess, what are you looking? I don't know. What's on the menu? Like, what do you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? No, none of that bullshit. Because you came from, I know what I wanted to ask you. I was asking about when you started making videos, because I started posting in like the early, like spring of 2016. So it's just been over 3 years on YouTube that I started posting videos. And I've learned, I'm sure as you, just like about culture, society, your own thoughts, because when you're speaking on video and you're listening to yourself talk over, I mean, I literally do the podcast every day plus videos. So I'm just so used to looking at my own face. I get tired of hearing my voice, but you find your own voice, and you just, doing so many videos, you learn your own opinions. Like you kind of work through all these thoughts in your brain. You don't keep them inside. You kind of get them out and you learn how to articulate them. How would you think you've changed in terms like of how, because if I'll have people that mention, okay, well, you said this in one episode. I'm like, this is episode 11.7. Like, I mean,
yeah,
I don't remember what happened in episode 11.7D.
Right?
Like, I don't.
Okay, I thought I was the only person that like, cause sometimes I'll forget, and it's been so long, and people change their opinion. I think in a long time ago, I was on this like, I wasn't doing fat burners anymore. I was doing L-carnitine and CLA, like the natural fat burner.
Oh yeah.
But and someone asked me about it recently. I was like, she was like, "What's that stuff?" I was like, "I don't remember. I don't take anything now. Like I don't recommend any supplement really." She was like, "But you said like CLA and something else," and I was like, "Oh, there's I feel like it just doesn't do real. And my diet's clean. That's what's really gave me the results, that I wanted. I stayed consistent. So I changed my mind, about that. But I get a lot of people saying, what about this? And I'm like, well, that was about 4 years ago. I'm completely different.
Yeah. Cause a lot of the stuff that I've said personally, I go for the shock value. So like one of my viral videos that got tons of was called, and this is kind of funny, it was called The Truth Hurts. And it opens up with saying, you're not going to like what I have to say, but you're fat.
Oh, I watched that one. I love that one.
And then, so here's a funny story about that. So I was promoting it, and then I started running it because I was like, okay, download my ebook, and then people can learn how to get started. It was like completely free, and Facebook started blocking it after a while. So it was running for, millions of views, no problem. And then it got stopped. So then I put it back and I blurred out a couple words, and it worked for a little bit, and then they cut it off. And then I don't know if people were complaining. I don't know if an algorithm caught it, but I stopped being able to promote the video and put it out there but this is like 2016, but it's funny how this got away. I think this is 2017, like in May. It's amazing like how much in a year society and social, because these issues with fat acceptance, like 2 years ago, I didn't hear anything about this. I don't know how long this has been going on, but 2 years ago, I was saying all sorts of stuff, and this was not even a consideration. Now I'm thinking, damn, if I made a video, The Truth Hurts, you're fat, like that's like a sensitive issue now. Now probably get flagged right away. And like it stopped getting promoted and getting around there. But if you're not changing, if you're not a completely different person from when you started making your videos, then you're not living. You're not doing your job as a human being to like develop. So like a lot of the content that we both make, and I know myself personally, is to grab attention, to be shock value. But then I'm trying to get a little bit more into like breaking down what that means. So when I say stop counting calories, I don't mean that calories don't exist. I mean, it's science. So, and then it's like, okay, you have to contextualize that. For me, I don't track my calories, my macros. and probably for the same reason you probably don't, is because you did it for so long. You know what you know, and you don't want to. You're like kind of like training. You're like, oh, I don't want to get a scale out. Like I don't fucking care. I'm not trying to bulk or cut for anything. Like you're not competing, so it's like why do it? So there's like all this context around nutrition. Okay, don't do supplements or don't eat that shit. You don't need that fucking drink. Do I mean you can't have a drink ever? No, it's not going to give you diabetes if you have a beer. It's not. But if you learn what works best for you and you know that having a beer is going to put you on the toilet and give you a migraine, you might want to make a different decision. But at least you have the information to make that decision. I mean, what do you think you've changed about the most? Like, what have you learned in terms of just being a different person from when you started like your social media quote career until now?
Well, my social media, at least like I used to post videos on Facebook a lot more and like my opinion on Facebook. And that was during my competing days. So I was really like a female jabroni, you know, walking around like
a jabronette.
Yeah, that thing. Talking about protein and, you know, got to work out for 2 hours and, you know, this and that, what supplement gives you a good pump, talking about my veins. And that's embarrassing. But so I did a whole, like, I'm completely different than what I used to be. So with that, and I was definitely like just that. I was a jabroni. Yeah.
My first video on YouTube was how bacon saved my life.
Was it still on there?
I leave every single video, not one. I think a couple playlists that I had like for like my channel customization. I think I made private, but I wouldn't delete a video ever. But that's the first one because I started a show. The first video I put, it was called Bacon Matters 001.
You're in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So I know you don't eat like horrible foods, but one I wanted to talk to you about. You went to Universal Studios. Is that in Florida?
Yeah, it's in Orlando. Mm-hmm.
And you were talking shit about that pink donut, and you're like, "Who would eat this?" And I was like,
"Yeah, like
I would eat that.
I'd eat it." A lot of people.
But I guess they have that. They have bacon on a stick over there, and I'm like, "Oh, I want that so bad."
At places like Disney and Universal, they have foods that literally you couldn't even like. I don't know where they come up with these ideas. Of course, I think that was from The Simpsons. That was like one of those things that they had in The Simpsons. Yeah, the pink because they have a whole Simpsons land and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean. Yeah, it's not so much that it's the people that are buying it shouldn't be buying it.
True.
That's what it is. I mean, it's of course all those kind of comments are like extremes. Like, look at this shit. Well, if I went and I actually ate it, is that going to crush me? I mean, maybe I would feel like crap, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, how much is that going to affect someone? Again, it's like driving on the highway and hitting a pebble. You're not going to feel it. Or a little rock hitting your windshield, like, oh, is that a rock? Huh. And you keep on driving. It's not like someone T-boned you. Yeah. But for people that already have like their shit all jacked up, just amazingly obese people with just like Harry Potter land, because Mama Swolio's family, they're big into like Disney and wearing the same shirts when they go and like going as like a team. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like,
that's like my boyfriend's family, and I'm just like the outcast. Like,
nope.
Why do I need to
I'm not wearing fucking ears. Don't even think about it. No ears.
It's so cute.
Yeah, no ears. Actually, I did wear my Harry Squatter shirt or my I am Lord Swoldemort, so I'll wear that. But I'm not gonna wear like Team Hogwarts. Like that's not my thing.
That's cute though.
I've always had a thing about forced fun. Like no. Like don't tell me like, oh, it's an amusement park. No. I'll let you know if I'm gonna have a good time. Don't like if I want to have fun, I'll have fun. It's an amusement park if I say so. So it's like I just feel like you have to go there and like and have fun. It's like
be happy, yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it's good enough. If it's good enough, it's up to my standards. But people are just of all the places. I mean, you have people in wheelchairs, like the motorized carts that are spilling out the sides, and they have a big whatever soda, and it's just like, oh.
It's pretty sad when you really look around and look at the reality. Like when we went to Disneyland in LA, there was, I mean, like you said, there's tons of people in the motorized scooters, and I was in line to get an ice cream, and this lady in a scooter literally like crushes my feet to get in front of me to get ice cream. I'm just like, first of all, you don't need it that bad, like I'm gonna let you go first.
You can, yeah. I mean, if you can't move yourself, but that's what I want people to avoid. If you go after, but that's where I think obviously you've built your audience, and I've built my audience, and Alan's built his audience, and James is that people are afraid to speak opinions, which is weird. And that's human nature. Human nature, and since posting videos and getting more into getting out of myself, I think has been a big part of it. And like start like listening to what everyone's saying and listen to what like the pain points are with the audience. Like, how can I bring value to everyone? How can I help you? What people really need? Like, how can I, because affecting someone to change or to give them information when you're not in person, as opposed to being a personal trainer and talking to them, it's a whole different message, because this podcast, thousands of people will listen to it, but it's not directed at any specific one person. Like, I don't know who can listen to it. So anytime I make a video or make a post, it's like a shotgun blast. So you have to understand like the context, and a lot of these influencers don't understand the context and can cause a lot of damage. But one thing that I've seen is just this: when you're listening, when you're getting out of yourself, you start being able to, I guess, feel like the pulse of where you can make the most difference. So like your message shifts. The message shifts. So when you get someone's attention, you're like, you're fat. But then again, like the context, like, but then here's how to help. Like, you're fat, but that's not a bad thing. You have to take responsibility. And a lot of people don't want that. And I think it's a responsibility, the 8th place trophy, like all these different things that are kind of like trying to coddle people and make everyone happy. That is fundamentally what life isn't about. No one's. Yeah. I mean,
I think people always think they're entitled to something. They're entitled to get something out of something when they didn't put any effort, into it. The 8th place trophy thing. Sure. You got 8th place. You shouldn't be getting a trophy.
You showed up.
Everybody wants attention. Back to Tess Holliday again. Like, she wants attention just because what? Because you have a pretty face. Like, not everybody gets attention.
Yeah. But then when you have attention, and then how you use that attention, but the intent comes across. The intent comes across, and the ability to lay the proverbial smackdown, I think is important. And I think that's why your content stands out. It's because you're not afraid to. You can't be afraid to offend people. And comedians and those that are truly funny are the ones that, and a lot of them are the most successful ones, are the ones that go against the grain, the ones that forge their own audience. So it's kind of like, look, this is who I am, and take it or leave it. But when you're making so much content, it's kind of hard. Like, can you imagine like putting on a show? Can you imagine trying to be someone that you weren't, or talk about things that you weren't really interested in, or voicing other people's opinions like sponsorships, or trying to fit the mold? That's why people can't be, or stop creating content, or don't start, is that if you're yourself, you don't have to put on an act. You literally just make the videos and you voice your opinion. And a lot of people are afraid to do that. I just think it's admirable that you.
Well, what someone was saying was how you, me, and Alan are able to come up with so much content. And I was like, well, it's because we aren't really putting on. I mean, I'm kind of putting on a show with this thing, but just a little bit. But we literally just say our opinion about things. We don't have to be somebody else.
Yeah. We don't have to create what? People are creating it for us.
Exactly.
It's out there already. So yeah, voicing your opinion matters, but it's also the message that you send me. A lot of people have their opinion, they post it, but then a lot of people don't get any traction.
Don't have a resolution.
What was that?
They don't have a resolution.
They don't have
like a solution.
Yeah, or they don't really have the purpose. They just want to be a quote YouTuber and get a following, and then they do a couple of videos. But it's that consistency, because I mean, how long was it when you first started till you got traction? I mean, you're obviously like, the momentum builds. That's for damn sure.
For sure. I feel like it's only been like, I mean, I've been posting for like, it had to be like 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And I feel like in the last year is when it started to actually get traction. What was I going to say? Yeah. Like my first view, it was like 2 views, 1 from me, obviously. And then I saw like, I got a second view and I was like, I can only go up
I'm a YouTuber.
I'm a YouTuber. Here I am, everyone.
Bitch has got a view.
I know. I was so excited. I was like, awesome. This is how it feels to be famous.
Yeah, right? Someone's looking at me.
It was probably just a view for myself again, because I'm sure I rewatched the video.
Yeah, right. That was so far before that they didn't like track like unique views. It was just like every time you clicked, it's like, I have 10 views. You're like, reload. You're like, you're
it's just you.
I had that for the longest time, because I started the podcast, and I remember, because like when you go live, you have the little eyeball on the top and it'll say that, and it depends on where you're watching from, and podcasts and things like that get a lot more downloads and usually live views and stuff like that. But I remember always having, it was either 0 or 1, and a lot of times it was like my mother. She would tune in. It was like 1, 2, 1. I remember like if I go back on Facebook, like old school, if I can even search for it, like you dig them up, and still it has like 16 views. Like still today, like no one went back on Facebook. Like, so it's just amazing where you look back and like those analytics on YouTube are always fun to look at. And I see, lifetime stats of like views and just see like a little circuit like there. Like when I talked about the Olympics in 2016, I'm like, oh, I got views. I'm like, oh, it's working. And then it went down like, nope, it's not working. And then different things. And then all of a sudden it's like, so it's like 3 years of just ghost town. It took me like, three.
People get so like, they want to do it so bad, but they get so, just not motivated when they're not getting the traction, and they compare themselves to other people who, like you and me, have been doing it for a long time, similar to like weight loss or muscle gain. They compare themselves to us who've been doing it for years, and they think they're going to get it like that when it took us a long time. It's
a nice comparison to actual training and fitness. Like you might see results from the beginning, but then you're going to plateau, or you might see a little spurt and then you get injured or something happens, and things come up like that. But it's just like this. It was 2.5 years up until literally it took me until just before, I think, the Brittany Dawn thing, where I just started to get my flow with like, okay, this is the type of video people like. I was broadcasting live on the main channel every day and was killing the views. Like I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I would have like the algorithm, like YouTube doesn't really like live streaming that much. They don't really. So it was, I realized once I created a second channel, then everything really kicked up. I'm like, oh, I could have done this a long time ago. And I was kicking myself for it. But 10,000 followers took me like 2.5 years. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like now it's like 60, and it grows, because then when YouTube is like, oh, people want to see this, here, look at this person. And then it kind of snowballs. But again, it's just it's very, I guess, exciting to see like other people like yourself and, the group, Alan, everyone that has a voice, and it just gives me more, it gives a lot of hope. Like every time I see the positive feedback, I'm like, man, you don't see that much positivity anywhere online. It's so rare.
Especially when we're talking about opinions.
Yes. Every video. Every video.
Our delivery is what really like makes our subscribers, you know what I mean? Like I think they really like the way that we deliver it.
So I'm looking at I just load up a different video of that chick, right? So this one, Dear Transgender People, again, a tough opening. Like that's like, you're just coming out of the gate.
Real strong.
So she has 25,000 likes and 44,000 dislikes. So it's a 1 to 2. Like never in my, I can't wait to watch these. Actually, I don't really want to. But tons of hate. She has but it's probably like hate subscribers. People subscribe so they can like rage on her videos and, dislike before they watch it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's literally the message, and it's the intent behind the message. But a lot of times when you voice your opinion hard, it resonates, but I don't think it's something that either of us always articulate. There's something like underlying, and I'm not saying to fluff our pillows or anything, but I think a lot of times, and I mean, I feel this personally when I get tons of positive feedback, and I'm like, how come there's no, like, I'm surprised. I'm like, someone's going to dislike this. I think when you put that comedic twist on it, and people realize when you dress up that, all right, you're not taking yourself that seriously. It's like, look at you dress up like the Hulk. And for me, I'm raging and I'm a psychopath and nuts on your chin, which is funny. And that's my sense of humor. But it's like, you're going to take this personally, like for real. Right. Like you're going to take this video seriously. Like you're going to help you. This is going to affect your emotional state. So I
love when people, well, first of all, you brought up nuts on your chin.
Oh, you
never brought it up. So I was ready with nuts.
Pistachio.
So I just had to get that out there. But I do find it funny when people get offended. I'm like, I remember I talked about Trisha Paytas and I was dressed up as a clown.
Oh, God.
Because people said I was a clown, so I was like, I'll just dress up like one then.
Yeah.
And someone like got really offended. I'm like, you're really mad at a clown. Like you're really taking this to heart.
Yeah, I mean, I've rarely gotten a lot of like feedback or negative on I guess, maybe stuff people would be like, oh, this guy's annoying. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get that. I mean, do driving while gaining. Yes, I annoy myself. I'm like, this is annoying as shit. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's way too much caffeine. But everyone likes to have, there's always that us against, it's a survival mechanism. And I think because of social media, we think we're so evolved. But social media has been like 20 years and we've had electricity for like 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
Electricity power for like 120 years or whatever it was. I mean, it's crazy
it's
how
pretty new. Everything's pretty new,
which is super scary. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how beginning this is, how this is just like the beginning of it. And I think just no one knows how to handle it. And it's important to separate it. And I think you do a wonderful job with, I don't create a costume per se. I have like my exaggerated personalities in my videos. But for me, I know that just looking at from what you do from the outside, that's a great way to separate yourself from it a little bit more, like inside. So you don't take it personally. You don't take it as, it doesn't affect your personal life to that extent. Like you can unplug is what I'm saying. Like, do you find that the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I love social media. Yeah. Like I love talking to people, but I definitely like to separate myself and like stay away from it sometimes and just be a normal person and not, just be on there. It's a whole different world online. What
do you think about people that say social media is bad? So do you feel like it's an overall good or an overall negative? And not necessarily from your personal like success with it, but just as like a general like thing.
I feel like it depends on the person. Like if you take the internet extremely seriously, you're probably going to have a bad time. If you just take it as it's the internet, it's not exactly like super real life, you'll be fine. Like there's a difference. My boyfriend's sister, like I said, she's very sensitive and she just got on social media, which why I don't know why she did, because she's just so sensitive to everything. And someone left her a hate comment and it wasn't bad. It was like, it was not bad at all. And I was like, if you're going to cry about this, you should see the things people say personally to me. Like they're going to rip you to shreds.
No, I get like,
take it seriously.
I'm a guy with a beard and like a man bun half the time. It's like, you think I get some, I used to a lot more, or maybe I just don't notice as much, but yeah, get some like violently like offensive stuff, but I don't take it as offensive. I'm like, look at this person leaving this comment publicly with their name attached to it, especially on Facebook.
That's how I got kind of popular on Facebook, and then once I learned I could make money, on YouTube, then I switched over to YouTube. Yeah. But one of my videos that went viral on Facebook where I just took all the hate comments that I got with people who had open profiles and just read their name and read their comments. And then like, picture.
Damn, that's savage. That's good.
So I'm like, why do people leave these comments and they completely put their name, their profile right here?
Literally like hardcore racist, sexist, offensive, just like, and I'm like, dude, your name, like I click on it and I can see you with a picture of your kid and your wife.
Right?
It's the weirdest thing. And a lot of times I would leave like sarcastic things. I'm like, well, I can see your profile picture, so enough said. Like I'm not even gonna go there. They'll make fun of like my hair and this. I'm like, oh, you're an overweight bald guy. Like I wonder. Like, see, Alan doesn't get offended by it. It's acceptance and taking responsibility.
Yeah.
So if you're watching, Alan, I doubt you're watching this far, but yeah, I'm calling you out. Okay, bald acceptance. I made that video after him and James and stuff were making it. Bald acceptance didn't do as well as I hoped, but maybe
was a good one.
It'll rear its head again. We'll see. So I won't keep you too much longer. I know we can talk for a long time, but I hope to do it again, especially like to promote upcoming videos or maybe to drop something. Maybe we'll have to, I don't know, we'll have to rage.
We'll have like a certain topic maybe in the future that we can talk about.
You can go to your rage correspondent, Papa Swole, and just cut to me and I'll be, depends if you want to monetize.
Or maybe we can talk about the video you're going to watch, Nicole Arbor.
Oh, that's right. I should do like a reaction video before I watch it.
Good.
I think, and that's another funny thing with driving while gaining. Like this guy's annoying, and someone said something about like making money off my channel. I'm like, have you watched my videos? Like, you think I'm really getting anything from these like monetizations? How do you think?
You don't understand. Like, you have to get a lot of views to make like a good amount of money.
A lot, and nowadays, especially with like the topics that we cover, with the tags, you put body positivity. Nope. You're going to put like this, or you put like anorexia. Nope. Like you have to
Is
really.
that what happened? Is that why I get like that little yellow check mark?
It depends. You can also appeal it. I don't know if you noticed that. Have you seen
Yeah,
like,
you can.
so you can, it won't always do it. It can be, because you can swear a lot in videos. And I've had videos get monetized. I'm like, a driving while gaining. I'm like, you're serious? Someone's getting monetized?
Yeah.
But I think it's either keywords, it's certain names, like the description, like it'll pick up on certain things. I've had it have the yellow where it's like limited monetization, and I've deleted a keyword and then it went green. So, and I've looked and I'm like, because sometimes things like, if you have fat acceptance or body positivity or obesity, like there are certain things like diabetes, there's certain keywords that sometimes I just don't care as much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of little subtle things like that. Maybe a certain name will trigger Tess Holiday, or like the algorithm will be like, well, a lot of these videos with this in it don't get monetized, so demonetized. And it's
I
kind
was
of
wondering, because it's like sometimes I'll put it out there and like it's immediately demonetized. So I'm like, how did anyone check it right now?
It's weird because there's and I think it's certain like acronyms. I think they don't allow certain acronyms in the title, because when I upload, when you upload, it has like the default title, and then you change the title when you're uploading the video, like the file name. So for Ask Papa Swole, it'll be like, okay, APS 096, and it won't be, it'll have a yellow thing. It's like limited monetization, but I'll change the title, and then it'll have like maybe APS is like some kind of like slur or offensive like acronym. So I don't know, like there's certain things like that that are weird. And then again, it's not perfect. So, but yeah, if people think that, you're banking, like if you get millions of followers and you're getting tons and tons and you're doing like PG rated content or gaming, there's so many things and the AI is getting more hardcore with music. There's a lot more things that are getting caught now than were before. Like I used to be able to go live on Instagram, go live at the gym. I'm warming up, doing like some cardio, 5-10 minutes. Now it picks up the audio and kicks you offline because it picks up the radio station stuff. But it's intense. But I mean, as long as you make good content, as long as you get the views and you have limited monetization, like it'll be enough. But it's fun. Like I have a good time.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I've always loved making videos. So now that I have like a little bit of a following, it's nice to see what people think of it.
Yeah, it's great to get feedback, and it's great to get your creativity out. I mean, people used to like painting, and then you like sculpting. It's like, well, videos is an art form, and it's fun to edit. It's fun to like find a good overlay or like an intro. Like, oh my God, that's so good. Right. And I usually know like when I'm laughing my ass off at my own video, I'm like, it's good. It's good. Like if I'm
a good genuine laughter.
If I'm like, I'll watch the replay. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just dying. This is awesome. And then I'll post it. So if I'm not laughing, I don't post it. So it's like, you have to enjoy what you do. And there's no way that you're going to post, a few videos a week and be consistent if you're not enjoying it. So, a lot of people are still watching. Is there anything you want to follow up with in closing? Like, I want to say thank you, especially for all of your people for coming over and watching and enjoying. And I hope to have you on again. I'm sure we'll do this again soon. I would love to, I would love to get you and Alan and do like a little round table here, because awesome. My streaming, we can do like 3 or 4 at the same time, which would be awesome. And is there anything you want to follow up, like any kind of closing statement in terms of everyone that's watching, about the movement, about any of these things, about YouTube?
If anybody has questions in the comment section, totally take some questions. Yeah,
let's see. If you got, we'll stay for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions for Michelle, drop them in the comments right now, and I'll bring them up and I'll read them to you, because I don't think you're going to see it on your end. But where can they find you? For those that are watching or watching this later or listening to this, where can they find your content? Where do you post? Just tell them where they can find your stuff.
On Instagram, I'm Michelle_McDaniel. And then, of course, on YouTube, it's My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You.
And that's no lie. And that's no lie.
I like the board in the back.
What? Oh, yeah. They can't see it yet. Hold on. Let me switch screens. Offended yet? Yeah. You know you are. All right. So we got a couple here. Let's see. Whoa. Mukbangs. Do you receive... this name is from Jakaga gibberish. Do you receive a lot of hate comments? It depends on.
Oh, me or you?
No. I was just clarifying. Like, I mean, it depends on what you define as hate, like racial hate or just hate comments.
I don't really, not really. If you go to like, it depends on what I title it. Like I don't know if you heard about the girl who opened the salon for like 500+ pound people.
I thought about making a video on it, but I didn't.
Yeah, and everybody, you know, there's so many YouTubers that made videos, and they were all calling her a fat whale. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put that right in my thumbnail. But like the content was obviously, I wasn't calling her a fat whale. And right in the beginning, I was like, I know you guys are probably pissed about the thumbnail, but I'm not calling her that. So calm down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But people were like pissed that I even like did that to the thumbnail.
Yeah, my answer for that question would be one of my vegan videos. But it's funny. I think the video that got the most, like in terms of thumbs down or like dislikes, was one I made on CrossFit.
Oh, really?
More than the vegans.
I totally thought it would be the vegan one.
Of all the videos I've made, the CrossFit one, but that was one of the first ones I made, and it was more for fun because I don't, you know, I go after CrossFit now and again. I don't care if people do it. Is there a safer way to do it? Sure. I mean, we don't have to go down the road on that one, but it's like, I thought it was funny when people are like, this isn't true. You obviously don't know anything about it. I'm like, obviously, if you watch this video for like a few seconds, you think I'm like, I don't know. Let's see here. Alan is Thanos, sorry.
He is Thanos.
What? Michelle Saunders. I know you're probably gonna be impressed that I pronounced that because it's spelled Myschel. So I'm assuming it's Michelle. What has been your favorite cosplay?
Probably my Bowser one that I did for Bang.
So the most recent one.
Yeah, I had like fangs and everything, so I love that one.
Have you ever? Oh, I hope this doesn't mean physically, but have you ever been attacked in person because of your channel? Like maybe approached? Like do people recognize you?
No.
Because you're always dressed like no one would know you.
Oh, I mean, like at events, yeah, they all recognize me, and I have ran into like a couple times when I would be filming down at the beach and I'm in cosplay. Then I'll see like a couple people like, oh, I follow you on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It's crazy, right? Because when you get to the point where you're like, oh my God, someone recognized me once, and this is when. And it's usually when like one of your videos is going around.
Yeah.
When the You're Fat video was going around, I had someone, you know, mention it at the gym, and I was in a parking lot because Mama Swole was at the dentist and she had to be like sedate, whatever. So I drove and I was waiting for like an hour and a half. So I was sitting in the parking lot with my shirt off, as I usually don't have a shirt on, and I'm on the phone like talking and this, and some guy like walks by and goes, "Hey man, are you Swolenormous?" I'm like, in a random parking lot, some guy, he was like an AC repair guy, like on lunch, really nice guy. And I'm like, oh my God, that was crazy. That was my first.
Isn't it weird?
I was like, I'm a celebrity. I'm famous for calling people fat to their face.
I'm famous.
Yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts on, I think we covered this a little bit, but what are your thoughts on supplements, protein, creatine, and glutamine, not needed, or just eat and lift right?
Eat and lift right.
There you go.
We talked about that for a bit, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Where are you from?
San Diego, but I've lived everywhere. I moved about 12 times when I was growing up.
I have someone asking, Anne Ruby, Michelle, when is the 100K special coming? Is there a 100K special?
Oh, the workouts?
Oh, is that what you said?
Once I get to 100K, yeah.
Talk about it.
A workout. So it's going to be like a home workout. You do need 3 things. I'm going to put it in the video that I recorded today. I'm telling you guys, but you're going to need like your battle ropes, your kettlebell, and a band. And we're going to do a little like completely just shoulders. I did it the other day and my arms were falling off. So
hot Cheetos for a post workout.
Oh yeah, it'd be amazing.
How was that for you? Since that was like that's been like your favorite for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't I thought I like cut it out during my whole like competition years.
For sure.
And someone was like, "Oh, you're not gonna like you'll never want it again." And then I was like,
"What the fuck are you talking about?"
And I had like a little bit. I had some of my friends, and the next thing I know, I was at Walmart getting hot Cheetos.
How was that for you? And like Brittany, the whole thing with like the Cheeto thing, were you just like?
Well, she's so stupid. I mean, she's so special because she said she's a hot Cheeto. And in the freaking car, she has the nasty puff Cheeto. Like, those aren't hot Cheetos.
No, those, yeah, right? She was in the cart, right? In the cart.
Yeah, in the cart with a bunch of, like, puff Cheetos.
The wrong type.
That's not
Scam. Oh, my God. I had so much. I remember that whole, I still don't know how I did, like, daily videos on that. I don't know how I did. I was like literally, I was having
How long did it take you to get blocked?
to get blocked from her.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on Instagram?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I didn't even realize because I never really went over there too much. And then, God, that's a good question. That whole time frame was a blur. Like I wasn't sleeping much. I was just making videos. Yeah, probably pretty quick. But I mean, I go on like, you know, you have a second account. You just go on,
Right.
or you go on.
She recently blocked me, and I was like, I mean, my dog has an account, so
Yeah.
let's go on there.
I don't think, actually, I don't know if I'm blocked. I don't know if she ever blocked me, to be honest. I think I'm confusing that with someone else. What's her name? Oh, Madeline, instant block.
Oh.
Instant block.
Yeah, she never blocked me.
Oh, I was blocked. I was blocked right away.
Wow, she's fast.
Yeah, no, super fast. But then I think Brittany, I think that was actually one part that I was impressed about. I'm like, because for a long time, even after it, she never blocked me. I'm like, smart. That was like the one smart thing that she did, that she didn't block me, or she didn't say my fucking name. What about a handsome Squidward at 200K?
I'll do. I mean, for you, are you gonna be Squidward?
Me? Oh, yeah. I wasn't putting myself out there. I'll be like, I don't know. I'll do Aquaman or something maybe.
Anything with long hair.
I don't know. Hey, shameless plug. If you get me to 100K, I'll dress up as something. I don't give a shit. I'll sell out.
Oh my God.
No.
Wait, do it.
Well, maybe.
Tell them 100K. What are you gonna be?
I don't know. What should I be? I'll let everyone drop that in the comments. Squidward?
Yes.
Well, I have a beard and I have long hair.
There's ways to cover that up.
Make it easy for me. Tell me I should be Thor. And I could just like bring the hammer. I was like, you should dress up. I'm like, sweet. I'll just put this over here and then we'll go live. That's a silly question. Do you work out while you're in cosplay? Get out of here.
No.
Get out of here.
I mean, all the time. I know they
Yeah.
keep asking me to do like the workout video in cosplay. How am I actually going to be able to
How long did it take you to do that?
out?
How long did it take you to do that?
Hours.
See, that's effort. I appreciate that. I appreciate that for the pod. I mean, you should do it. You should just do a video now and just do like a Hulk video and then post it.
Well,
like,
I am. I was like, it took me 2 hours to get ready. I have to do something.
Awesome. Or like post it like in 2 weeks and be like, oh, I just did it again. Like, change your shirt and be like, I'm already here. Michelle, would you cosplay Scar? That's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
That's a good one.
That's in Halloween. I'm like, okay, because I'm a past theater kid, so I'm like, oh, I found this company that can do. What are those things when you're like at the mall and then like a group of people start doing like dancing and singing and whatnot?
Oh, the flash mob.
Yeah,
flash mob.
So my goal is to be like dressed like Scar and like flash mob at the mall.
To have like all like the. Well, you want to be careful with the hyenas like goose stepping. You don't want that like scene like the original one. That's a little bit. Have you seen the new Lion King? I haven't seen it.
No, have you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen the new one yet.
I
like the older one.
I am not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. I didn't go for all those like carbon copy remakes. I heard like they took all like the best parts of the first one out because of the live action, like the whole dancing sequence and the songs. Like they just, I don't know. I don't like those money grab
It's never
movies.
as good as the original. I mean, I normally just wait until it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah,
and
I see too much, like since being behind the scenes and doing like my own business and stuff online, my whole mentality about those kinds of things, just as the money grab is like, yeah, I'm not gonna fall for it, but I get it. So I think, 100K should be Aquaman or Big Lebowski. That's a good one. I can just freaking put on a bathrobe. I like that. Anything easy. Do Gimli. The fuck do I look like? Do Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you could be him.
I will not.
Yeah, see, there you go.
that was more like Treebeard, but the same guy, same voice. My sister's hardcore. I've seen each one probably like 20 times. She's
really
hardcore. Like she was posters, drawings on the wall, elves everywhere, like all the figurines, like hardcore obsessed with Lord of the Rings. So
I know you don't really like labels, but do you label yourself as like nerdy?
Like what for?
Just like how you are in everyday life. Like, do you like nerdy or like a gamer or?
No,
what, like...
That's a good question. I'm Papa fucking Swole.
Okay, I guess so.
No, you know what's funny is like the only thing I spend money on is my food. That's the only thing that I'll buy, like, oh, I'll buy new pans, or I'll buy like a new thing to cook this, or I'll spend money on the food that I want, like and equipment for what I do, but
Yeah.
I don't wear clothing often. Like I'm wearing shorts. Everyone. It's
He's
okay.
not naked.
Should flash. Like I thought about doing like a dual cam, having like a nut cam, like under the table and just kind of switch. Yeah. So I thought about that, just having like a pair, like maybe like a stuffed animal, like peanuts, and just like a nut cam, like in the corner, just like
That's funny.
just patch it in. But yeah, I don't wear jewelry like I used to. Sometimes I have like some bracelets. I used to have like a Thor hammer and stuff. But then
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really necessarily. I think I'm kind of subconsciously try to be like unique by not doing any one thing. I go to the gym. I just like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. That's a good question.
Portfolio.
It's like, what do you like to do? It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm me. I'm fucking me. I do my shit. But no, I used to game. I used to love it. I stopped after like PS2 was like the last system I had, which is now that I say that I'm like, wow, you're dating yourself, bro. But yeah, after that I got an Xbox. I had an Xbox. I actually had an Xbox 360 for like a couple months. I tried getting into like Black Ops and those games because where I was working at the time, like 4 or 5 years ago, everyone was playing it. I just couldn't stick to it. I just couldn't. Nah, but because I like to play and be competitive, but online it's like unless you're playing for a living, it's like
it takes a lot of time.
a lot of time. So I see all these gamers and stuff, and I tried doing that a little bit when I first started. Because I stream on Twitch too, and there's one person watching on Twitch now, so I have like my Twitch follower. What's up, dude? So I have like a couple hundred, but because I can stream to multiple, I'm like, I put my stuff on Twitch. What the hell? But I tried doing like Fortnite and stuff when it came out, and I did it for like, I bought like the keyboard and I bought the mouse and stuff. I did it for like a week, and that was it. I
never got into whatever you just said.
I tried to do it for trending, and I was gonna be like, I had the thing on my Twitch was called Gaming While Gaining. I was just gonna rage and play, and it was fun, but it's a lot of time to do that, and I didn't enjoy the game enough. I don't enjoy it enough but I love the old school ones. I like to play Mario Kart, but 64 Mario Kart.
Ooh, that's like, I've lost friendships over that. Like we go hard with that.
I love it. Twitch, or my friend had it on Switch, I guess it is, and that was fun. Yeah, it's Mario Kart's like the best game. They could remake that over and over again. Like I can't wait for VR Mario Kart. You know it's coming.
Oh, I've played a couple of the new ones, but not a lot of not like completely. Like I'm not good, basically.
Yeah, but you know eventually you're gonna put on some glasses and be like in the cart, and you're gonna have you're gonna have like a haptic feedback suit, and you're gonna be like leaning. Like I'm waiting for it. I can't wait. Someday I'm assuming 3 of them as Greek gods. Oh, you could be a Greek goddess. You could be what's that?
Did you ever watch I think it was in Hercules. I don't know, but I'm planning on cosplaying this one.
Nice. I mean, I was big into like mythology in college. That was the only class I really liked, was like Western civilization. It was like Greek mythology and stuff. Because I liked it when you could actually, like, the gods would actually do shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, whatever you believe, but it wasn't like Sky Daddy saying like, oh, like I hope no one. No, like it was like, fucking lightning would come down and hit you, and Thor would like come down and beat your ass, and like Zeus would come down, pretend to be a woman or like a guy, and like bang your wife. And it's like, oh shit. Like these gods are going after it. Like they're really going after it. Someone asks, and I guess it's a good place to close. Where is it? Any thoughts on any, quote, my thoughts may offend you apparel? You don't have apparel? You don't have gear yet?
No, I do. I just don't push it.
That's good.
Well, one of them that was real. I'll get it right now. Hold on.
Get it. I'll just grunt till you get back.
So one of them was just my catchphrase whenever I don't like someone, like a fuck off.
Ooh, I like that one.
And because of the word, they wouldn't let me like push it too much on the platform that I was using to sell them.
Who?
What is it called? I think it's like, it's been so long. It was something chick. Like they had cute ones like this, but everyone else just had t-shirts.
Go on Teespring.
Well, I think Teespring didn't have like
sports
bras.
I think they do now. I don't know what the quality. I would check it out.
Okay, yeah.
They've
So the
added.
place that they wouldn't
Yeah.
let me put it on like my store, so it's like no one could really get to it unless like I send it
Yeah.
directly to them.
Yeah, you can do. I mean, they also have like another option that I might be shifting over to was like Shopify. You can get like one of those apps that is pretty much like you can install essentially
Yeah.
like a Teespring type like Printful into your store. So you
Mhm.
customize like a web page, and then it's still handled, but you just have to do a little bit more
Yeah.
work up front. But yeah, they added. I think they have dresses and leggings, but a lot of them are white. So
Yeah.
why would you make white leggings? Who's gonna wear? What woman do you ever see wearing white like yoga
Mhm.
pants? White
To the gym and then like actually
anywhere
working out.
at home? Like who buys white leggings?
Mhm.
It's like if you're gonna do anything, I couldn't believe that they would make white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had one more, and it says daddy issues because I've got a lot of those going on.
I love this shit. Yeah, check it out there. You can swear, you can do all sorts of stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
a lot of people hate on Teespring because there's just like you can get past like a lot of like copyrights and stuff. People like make fake things and like, spin-offs on different things, and it's so loose. Like
Yeah.
I remember one time I did because I have a shirt, it says Gaines as Old as Time with the rose
Yeah.
from Beauty and the Beast, but I had a great image made, and it was Belle and the Beast. It was like, when they're holding each other, looking at each other, and the Beast was freaking jacked and Belle was all ripped, and it was awesome. But then I uploaded it and it got like blocked right away because
Oh.
Disney is hardcore.
Oh, they
Like
are.
they're watching everything and every site. Yeah, there's you can't slip anything past like a Disney copyright.
Mhm.
They're listening right now for sure.
Oh, totally. They're on the podcast.
Yeah, but anyway, it was like, it's like, oh my god, like my thoughts will offend you is going live. Make sure she doesn't touch. Like she's wearing Thor. Like, all right, but she's a girl. But Thor's gonna be a girl. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. Checkmate. I'm waiting for you to get like a copyright strike against Disney. They'll be like, you're too awesome. You look like.
I wonder if they ever. Well, Nintendo's very like that too. And I had a picture of the little Yoshi dinosaur,
Yeah.
and this was on Facebook, and I couldn't upload it.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. Sometimes I've had where it's a word in like a caption and you just don't notice it because it doesn't bother you or bother me, but
Yeah.
then the algorithm picks it up. But yeah, like that's the hard thing with, I guess, artificial intelligence being like, the algorithms and stuff, like they're scanning so much better now with like music and copyrights and shit like that. It's like, come on, people just want to use your shit. It's a
For free.
compliment. Like I've had some people I see, I'm like, oh, they're using my logo, not my logo, but like the beard face part. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like flattering. It's like, what am I gonna do? Like go
I mean,
sue.
they're so rich. It's like, okay. I mean,
They're so yeah, it's not gonna make a big difference, but they have whole divisions for that. But anyway, I've had you here for a while, and it's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And
thank you for having me.
yeah, anything you wanna shout out to everyone? Anything like you want to push? Any video? Oh, go see your tell them about your latest video. Just like
Oh yeah, go check out my bang video. We talk about Davey. What's the guy's last name? Davey. I don't remember.
Davy Jones. No.
I thought it was Davy Jones. For a
No,
second,
I know
but
you
don't
said
think
that.
it
I'm
is.
like
I think
pirates.
it's Davy Michael. He was pretty pissed at me for not thinking he was funny. So go to my YouTube channel and see if you think he's funny.
Who's he? I'm gonna have to
Davy
go.
Michael. He's
I didn't watch the whole video. I know,
yeah,
shame.
He's a bang model, and
They have male bang models?
oh, I'm making a new video about because there was more content that it's just they literally just hire anybody.
Oh, I can't wait.
To be a bang model.
Oh.
So you have a great chance to become a bang model, but you have to do some pretty cringy shit. If you're down with twerking, spilling bang all over your body, licking bang off the floor, if you're cool with that kind of stuff, then
Say that one again. The last one.
licking bang off the floor.
This happened.
Yeah.
I have a new video coming up, fam. How to be a bang model, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put bang everywhere.
Yep. I'm recording it today, so.
No, I'll let you have at it. You can you can get first dibs. That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
but he just thinks he's funny, and I was someone that I looked at his content, I didn't think it was funny, and he got a little upset.
Is he an owner or something? Is he like a no?
No, he's just one of those people that they hire to dance around.
Fuck that guy, Davey. Fuck your couch, bro. I think that's based out of South Florida. I think,
Bang.
yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
down here. I see a lot of like pictures of Bang girls like up like in, like little universities, and they're all because like literally it's just that guy is so cringy.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's going after it in the comments. Yeah, I didn't know about male bang models. I mean, but there's female bang models. So I guess guys in the picture, I never put it together. Like, oh, these are guys. Like, I guess that makes sense.
No, they hire anyone. I saw comedians. I saw underage women now hired by Bang.
Nice. Yeah,
Very
the caffeine, the crazy shit about Bang is not to mention like the 5 cups of coffee, but also the creatine for people that don't need creatine, and people that aren't exercising, people just drinking Bang, just drinking creatine. And it's like super creatine, which is not
I love the super creatine. I'm not too sure what that is.
Super
but Bang
creatine.
has it.
It's super. It's like, God, I mean, creatine has like 19 different types. And it's like the regular shit works. Eat a piece of beef, you'll be fine. But anyway, you can stay for a second after we sign off. But thank you so much for being here, Michelle. Thank you for being here. And thank you everyone for watching and joining in for episode 1172 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in Zarel. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thanks for joining both of us. Ooh, that's a good flex. Yeah, that's a good flex. Good flex. Look at that. Oh, I got a good angle. Good shadow.
Bring
Good
it to
shadow.
the bar. I love that.
I love it. I'll see you all tomorrow for 1173. Say goodbye, Michelle. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Peace out, fam. Later.